You can't forget about this one. Lee Salter hits number 5, and the Newport Gulls retake the lead.
This is the Newport Gulls pregame show, live from Cardines Field in Newport, Rhode Island.
Gone! A grand slam! Drew Lefbauer, right tower power, and the Gulls walk off in the 15th inning!
Coming up, interviews, stats, standings, lineups, and a whole lot more.
Tomas steps on the back for one out, throws to first, it is in time, a double play! And that one is gone! Joe Afner! A high drive, left field deep. Bolzano going back, looking up. This ball is a two-run homer. P.J. Jones hits it out.
Stay tuned. The pregame show begins now on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Let's take it down to the field. Here is Newport Gulls play-by-play broadcaster Tolan Vaquero.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to Cardines Field here in Newport, Rhode Island. Plymouth Pilgrims taking batting practice behind me as we get set for tonight NECBL men's baseball matchup. It's the Pilgrims versus the Gulls. The Pilgrims with a record of 17-22 on the year. The Newport Gulls now sitting at 22-17 on the year. They entered today as one of the hottest teams in the NECBL. In the month of July, they're 15-6, so they've been red hot of late. Coming off of a 12-4 win against the Pilgrims last night, the Gulls smashed 6 home runs in that ball game. I was over there in Plymouth, and it was surely one of the highlights of the season for me, watching these guys stroke the ball out of the park. Tonight they'll be facing Plymouth again. It's the 6th time that they face off this season. Some other highlights: Stephen Scott with a home run last night. He now has 9 on the year. He sits in 2nd place in the NECBL, 4 home runs with the 9. And then Troy Dixon now with a .376 batting average on the year, number 1 in all of the New England Collegiate Baseball League. So some really hot guys up there at the plate. Jake Brote with 28 runs on the year. That's 3rd in the NECBL. He'll also be doing an interview for us here today. It's Military Appreciation Night here at Cardines Field tonight. All military personnel will be admitted free to the park, so we hope that you'll come out and join us. It should be a fun one here at Cardines Field. We have a lot to come for you here on the Newport Gulls pregame show, which starts right now on the NECBL Broadcast Network.
Welcome back to the pregame show here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. I'm Shannon O'Connell here with Nate Cahoon for the Gulls Insider. How are you doing so far today?
I'm doing good. Glad to be here.
Good. Okay, so you have been our bullpen catcher for a while. How has that been?
It's been exciting. I got a call from my head coach earlier in the summer, and he asked me if I wanted to do it. And, you know, I did stuff with the Waves last year and the Gulls. It was exciting to, you know, new place, being here in Cardines. So I said yes right away.
Definitely. So you were activated yesterday, and you played in your first game last night. How was that?
It was exciting for sure. You know, just glad to get an opportunity and get a chance to do something in my career so far. So. Yeah.
You've been catching with our pitchers for a while. What's the biggest difference between catching here in the NECBL with these pitchers versus catching at school?
Definitely speed and their stuff and the movement on their curveballs and breaking balls.
Mm-hmm.
It's just been an adjustment, you know, catching stuff in the 90s compared to stuff at school in the low 80s to mid 80s.
So like I said before, you just were activated. What are you looking forward to being able to actually play here at Cardines?
Well, I played here in high school a couple times, so it's just fun to actually get out here and be in Rhode Island and you know, I guess sort of represent Rhode Island with any chance I get. So.
Besides catching, what else do you play?
I played some outfield in college, but other than that, I'm just a catcher. But that's it.
All right. What do you like most about being in Newport?
Definitely the atmosphere so far. Compared to any other place that I've traveled to, it's definitely been the best atmosphere.
And what are you looking forward to most about being on the Gulls team?
Just the guys that are here. They're really fun to be around. They make the sport definitely interesting, and it's been a great experience so far.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
We'll be right back here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the pregame show. I'm Shannon O'Connell, this time joined by Jake Brote, who is actually our guest interviewer for this week's Ask a Goal segment. So Ask a Goal, we ask a bunch of random questions to one of our chosen players, and Jake's going to introduce him. So we're going to throw it over to him. All right.
Yeah, so this week on Ask a Goal, we're going to be interviewing Blake Battenfield. Blake, how you doing today, Blake?
Good.
That's good. Okay, first question. What do you eat for breakfast?
I don't eat breakfast.
All right, I thought you just ate nails. Okay. Who has the best hair on the team?
Blake Cairns.
Good answer. Good answer. Who's the best dancer on the team?
Probably Jake, just because he's always moving and he has sound effects with his moves. Not Trey. Not Trey.
Who's the best dressed? Who has the best style on the team?
There's no style on this team. We're just grinders.
I like it. Who's most likely to be the president in the future?
Somerville. Sorry, man. He had to go home. He got hit in the face, but he'll probably be president at some point with glasses.
Very, very well-spoken man. I agree. Who would win American Idol?
Not Trey.
All right. Common theme here. Who has the prettiest eyes on the team?
I don't really look at people's eyes, but I do look at people's lips. I'm looking at yours right now.
I see.
Beautiful.
All right. Who has the weirdest pregame ritual?
Chris Bubik. That guy stretches for 30 minutes. That's not an exaggeration. He runs through people's in and outs to go out to the outfield to make sure that he can do his lunges. He's not a nice butt, though. Keep doing your lunges, Boob.
Who's likely to meet their future wife on Tinder?
Not Trey. Derek.
Derek, that's a good answer, too. Who's most likely to get locked out of their own house?
Oh, geez. Probably me. I tend to misplace things.
That's what I heard.
I've locked myself out of my truck quite a few times.
And your host family's house, that's what I've heard.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Who is the shortest attention span on the team?
That's a tough one. Shortest attention span? Probably Hunter. That guy is just all over the place. Hunter and Jake, if they're together, they can't pay attention to anything. Although, if you have Garrett and Adam together, Pokemon takes over.
Yeah. Speaking of that, what's the funniest bullpen moments of this year?
Oh, man. Either Derek teeing off in the middle of an inning, hitting it in the outfield. That was classic. Or
With a golf club?
Yeah, golf club, golf ball and all. I think it hit like a squirrel or something.
Nice.
Also, a couple days ago, Garrett was on his Pokemon Go game, and right in the middle of the inning, just ran out in the outfield to try to catch a Squirtle. I don't think he got it, though.
Yeah, I saw the umpire getting pretty upset about that. I'm glad that he didn't get kicked out of that game.
I like the effort, but he didn't get it, so it wasn't worth it.
So, rumor around the team that you are very good at impersonations. Can we hear some?
No.
You can't.
What do you want to hear?
Let's hear your SpongeBob one.
Meanwhile, back in the Hall of Justice, you have Chris in the outfield dropping fly balls and Jake giving up runs.
That's great. Jake's giving up runs, starting pitching
I'm
today.
just kidding. He's starting. He's going to throw, what do you think, 6 shutout today? What are you feeling, 6 shutout?
I like it. Which two players will most likely live together in the future?
That's definitely Derek and Cole. But see, here's the trick. The tricky thing about this one is they're going to stay together in the same room, in the same bed, and Gist is going to rent a room from them.
Okay. So it's gonna be the 3 of them.
Right.
Okay. You got a 5-man zombie apocalypse squad. Who's on it?
Somerville, because he's going to have to invent some stuff to keep us alive. Probably Kaloon for the sacrificial lamb, like somebody has to die. Sorry. Probably, Scotty over there. You got to have a little muscle on your team. Trey to keep the spirits high, or to die second, and then me.
I like it. Are the rumors true that Chris Bubik eats sunscreen?
Sunscreen? I thought it was napkins.
I've heard sunscreen. Hey,
I have seen sunscreen in his lunchbox.
do you think that we can get Chris Bubik out here to answer this question for us?
Do you eat sunscreen?
Come on, Chris.
Come here, Chris. Are the rumors true? Do you eat sunscreen?
I do not eat sunscreen. I just pack a lot of it in my bag, so I'm prepared every day.
That's eating it.
No, it gets close to my mouth because I put it on my face, but nothing in my mouth. Nothing in my mouth.
Okay.
Oh, he's in my zombie apocalypse squad for sure.
Troy, definitely.
Sorry, I'll kick myself out.
Cap.
Oh, God.
This is not good.
Not Trey.
This interview is going downhill. All right, what are the unwritten rules on the bus?
Not talking to your girlfriend all the time on the phone, Trey.
Hey, no pooping on the bus.
No pooping on the bus.
And if you poop on the bus, make sure you leave the door open so everyone can smell it.
Get out of here.
Who's most likely to end up on Jerry Springer one day?
Trey.
Absolutely. Who's the worst fighter on the team?
Trey.
Who has the best tan?
Oh, that's Chris. Chris, get out here. Show this tan off. Chris, show this tan off. Just this nice, smooth skin. He's not even ashy.
What do you have to say about this, Chris?
You know, I like to get a lot of sun on my off days, you know. It's getting a little dark,
Dude,
but...
look at this. Oh, the sleeve's on. You gotta put that sleeve down. Oh, you're huge.
Oh, man, I know.
Look at that tan.
Yeah,
no tan line. That's. I'm white.
All right, last question. Who would most likely be a Pokemon on this team?
Oh, that's Adam Wolf for sure. Wolfie. I can't think of a name though. That'd be classic if we could get a name for Wolf.
That'd be a good one. I agree. Thank you for having us on here. Thank you, Shannon.
Yeah, no, thanks, you guys. You guys did really good. It was a really good time. Very interesting Ask a Goal segment. All right, thanks, Blake. Okay. And thanks, Jake. You did a great job.
Thank you.
All right. Pre-game show continues next right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network.
Welcome back, Newport Gulls pregame show. It's time for the Broadcasters Roundtable. Tolan Vaquero here alongside Plymouth broadcaster Quinn Kelly. Hope you guys enjoyed that, what appeared to be hilarious interview by the players. Quinn, how you doing today?
Good, pretty good. How you doing, Tolan?
Doing very well. Got some good sleep coming home after that win last night at Plymouth, the 6 home runs. What was your takeaway from that game?
Takeaway was that they just didn't come out ready to play. The pitching wasn't there. We talked about it on air. Kevin got in a couple of 0-2 counts and just didn't seem to know where to go for a put-away pitch. And, you know, as Coach Zackerson was talking about it after the game, they were just putting barrel after barrel on the ball. Everybody was making good contact, and, you know, nothing you can do about that.
Any insight on what we can expect tonight on the mound or in the field?
I think it's going to be a lot different tonight. Andrew Mitchell is out there. He's the #1 starter for the Pilgrims, and he's looked really good as of late. He's starting to pick back up from a couple of tough starts right in the middle of the season. So he should be ready to go. This is a must-win game, you feel like, for the Pilgrims. They're a game and a half out. They need to pick up a game here. So I think he'll be out there ready to go. Maybe not 6 home runs tonight.
I mean, I'd love to see another 6. I'm sure Plymouth wouldn't, but let's have a little fun here, Quinn. Favorite Major League ballpark?
I mean, you got to be partial and say Fenway because it's the greatest park in the country. But I think Camden. I'd love to get down to Camden. Camden looks pretty cool. I haven't been able there. And I think it's Chase Field right in Arizona. I think those two I'd love to go and see. But
I'd have to say Wrigley and Camden Yards. I mean, you can't really go wrong with Fenway. But after the season, whether you make the playoffs or not, what are the plans for you?
Oh, rest and relaxation. It's been a grind. Looking forward to a little month to slow it down before we get back into football season when I get to campus and doing stuff over at BC. So just take some time off.
Beach days coming up for you?
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm a hop, skip, and a jump from the beach. I'll be there every day.
Well, I'm privileged to live on the beach, so it's been nice. But I guess from this season, what's been your favorite moment so far, and why?
That's a tough one. I think the bus rides have been fun. Not necessarily a specific moment, but it's just nice to get to know the guys on the bus and see how they interact with each other. I mean, they're all getting to know each other too, but they know each other pretty well by the end of the season. They've been a lot of fun. Cole Gordon back here, watching him put on laser show after laser show has been nice too. So
yeah, that's always fun. As you get to, I'm sure you can attest to this, as you get to know the guys a little more, they start opening up with you. It becomes a lot more fun. You can joke around with them. So it's been a lot of fun for us. But thanks, Quinn. That'll do it for the Broadcasters Roundtable here. Don't go anywhere. The Newport Gulls pregame show continues next on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Newport Gulls pregame show. It's time for the manager show. Tolan Vaquero here alongside head coach Al Leyva for one of the final times here at Cardines Field, although the playoffs are coming up. Coach, big win last night, 6 home runs. How impressed were you by the showing put on by the offense?
Yeah, I mean, it was like, it's amazing, We had 6 of them, and, a couple of them we're line drive outs, so with the short fence like that, that makes it nice. And there's a couple fields like that, that if you hit a line drive, you can hit it out. Here, if you hit a line drive, it's sitting in the top, it's hitting our fence. But in the same token, you could hit a pop up here and it could go over the fence. So have its advantages. So it was good.
Definitely an impressive showing. Cole Fabio went deep, first pitch. I heard some of the guys say, Cole, that's the first home run I've seen you hit even in batting practice. Is that true?
I think it might have been, but I think he hit one today though. I think he might hit 2 today.
All right.
So I think his power numbers, and he's had camp for 5 weeks, so he hasn't been at the gym at all, and now he's going to the gym. So I think it's helping him.
Coach, a couple games left here in the season. It looks like you have a playoff spot pretty much locked up. Are you thinking about first place at all, or are you content where you are here in second?
You're never content. You always want to win the league, because then, if you have the most wins, you get the home field advantage. And, that's important. Where they got, if you have to go 3 games, you're playing back in your home crowd. So, yeah, we got our sights set on, winning the rest of our games, In order to do that, you got to win this one tonight. So, if we can come in first, that'd be great.
Coach, unlike Ocean State, who's lost 4 of their starters throughout the season, we've been pretty lucky with the guys we've had. They've been consistent. They've been able to come in on a night-in, night-out basis. Are you thinking about a playoff rotation at this point? Do you know who's going to start game 1, game 2, game 3?
Yes. We also had our share of pitchers that left or got hurt, and I think we ended up losing about 6 or 8, I think. And we got a couple in, which helped out a lot. So we've been shorthanded really for about 2.5 weeks, or even longer actually. But when you have a 5-man rotation, and Mondays for whoever started on Monday would come back on Saturday, so we always had it set for them. So we've always been in great shape there, and we already had our pitching rotation set up last week for the playoffs, and so it's been at least 2 weeks that we've had the pitching rotation lined up.
Nice. And Coach, do you plan on resting anyone down the stretch prior to the playoffs, or I know there's an off day Thursday, they're getting a little extra rest?
Yeah, well now since last week we've had rest. We got the Sunday off, we had Thursday, we have tomorrow off, then we get Sunday off, and then we get Tuesday. But you never know with the rain. We've been very fortunate, so knock on wood. Hopefully we don't get no more rainouts, but we've been very fortunate in that aspect. So the guys have been playing every day. Now they're getting 2 days off a week, where we were doing that anyways. We every 4th day you had a day off. So now that this Thursday is involved, that we have off, the regular guys, they don't need the day off. And plus I talked to them already, and they said, no, Coach, that having Thursday and Sunday off, we're good. And so that way they stay hot. When you give you're always afraid when you give somebody a day off, are they going to get cold, but hopefully we won't have that happen.
Well, it looks like they're having a lot of fun out there. Last night, everyone seemed like they were on the same page. And lastly, Coach, Troy Dixon looked a little ginger when he took a foul tip, I think it was, to the knee or something last night, came out of the game, leading the NECBL in batting average. Is he okay? Can we expect to see him in the lineup tonight? Oh, yeah, he's going to come in the lineup today. We actually, he took a foul ball, but he was fine. But, we were fortunate to have a good lead. And, I wanted to play him again tonight behind the dish. So I felt like, hey, I think we had a 10-run lead in the 5th inning. He already had 4 ABs in. So we said, let's take him out. And that's what we did, just to give him, a few innings, because I knew I was going to catch him tonight. So I wanted to save his legs a little bit. But he's fine. Well, thanks, Coach. That'll do it for the Newport Gulls pregame show. Don't go anywhere. Gulls baseball is next on the NECBL Broadcast Network.
Once again, here's Colin Vaccaro and the Newport Gulls broadcasting.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to Cardines Field as we get set for tonight's NECBL men's baseball matchup. Gulls versus Pilgrims. Colin Vaccaro here alongside Quinn Kelly in the booth and Megan Windle. Jarek Krajewski, the statistician here. It's a very important night today at Cardines Field. It's Military Appreciation Night here, presented by Raytheon. So before we get to anything about last night's game or all of that, the ceremony's going down on the field. We're going to pick up Chuck Pava down there as he introduces tonight, and then we'll come back up here in just a moment.
Very special night for both organizations. Folks, let's give Raytheon another big hand, folks. Very generous. First of all, I'd like to have ceremonial first pitches tonight. The first pitch represented by Builder 1 Class German Dunlop. Hop up here, sir. Builder 1 Class German Dunlap, who was selected as the Naval Station Newport Junior Enlisted Service Member of the Year 3 years in a row, folks. And recently selected for promotion to first class. Class Dunlap's awards include the Navy Achievement Award, Medal, 4 awards. The Good Conduct Medal, 2 awards. Global War on Terrorism Medal. Afghanistan Campaign Medal. Sea Service Deployment Ribbon, 3 awards. Commanding Officer Knapp's Letter of Appreciation. Selection as the U.S. Naval Academy Junior Sailor of the Year, FY15 and FY14. Petty Officer Dunlop is married to Leona Dunlap and has 1 daughter, Janella Dunlap. Let's give him a big hand, and thank you for your service. You can tell he does everything well. Thank you so much, sir. Now I'd like to introduce Major Christopher Say. Major Christopher Say is the commanding officer of the Marine Corps Detachment here in Newport. He began his training at Parris Island, South Carolina in 1994. In 95, designated as an aviation support equipment mechanic at NAS North Island, California. Including being an honor graduate of the Meritorious Commissioning Program, Major Say has been deployed to Kabul, Afghanistan as an IMEF Regional Command Liaison Officer to ISAF Joint Command. After years of hard work, loyalty, dedication, in July of 2016, Major Say received orders to Newport, Rhode Island to serve as the Marine Detachment Commanding Officer. Thank you so much for your service. Great job, sir. I knew you didn't need any warm-ups. Now I'd like to introduce Captain Kevin McGowan. Captain McGowan is very popular, as you can see, and he's from Erie, Pennsylvania. In 1990, Naval Academy graduate and a graduate of the Naval War College, a P-3 pilot, he was the commanding officer of VP-10 and co-commanding officer of Training Command here in Newport. Currently, he is the director of the Naval Command College. Let's give our captain a big warm welcome. Okay, sir? Nice job. Thank you for your service, Captain. Now I'd like to introduce, representing Raytheon Services, I'd like to introduce first Steve Rosenbaum. He's the director of Raytheon for 27 years and loves the Newport Gulls. Come on up here. We have a ball for you, sir. And thank you so much. You're going to pitch. They're calling you. Nice. That's a strike. Thank you so much, Steve, for your support. Now I'd like to introduce Paul Ferrero. He is the Vice President of Raytheon Integrated Defense Systems, Sea Power Capability Systems. The company's business area focused on programs for the United States and international Navy customers. Raytheon provides solutions to a broad international and domestic customer base, including the U.S. Missile Defense Agency, the U.S. Armed Forces, and the Department of Homeland Security. Thank you, sir, for your support. Go ahead, Paul. Nice job. Now I'd like to introduce and recognize some other friends that we have with us today. I'd like to recognize the base commanders and members of the branch of service, both veteran and active duty, during pre-game ceremony, which is right now. Let's recognize those people in attendance, folks. I'd like to welcome and recognize all the foreign officers here today from 65 countries from around the world who are studying at the Naval War College. We welcome you. And we wish you all the best in learning about America's pastime, the great game of baseball right here at Cardinals Field, which is one of the most historic baseball fields in our country. Welcome to the United States, and thank you for your attendance tonight, and thank you for your support. I'd like to recognize, and they probably won't let me introduce them, but any admirals or generals that are in this stands tonight, thank you, gentlemen, for your service and leadership. I'd like to recognize a few members of our grounds crew you see working out here every night, working hard for us. They show up at 4 o'clock. We have first Greg. He served 23 years in the United States Navy. Greg's back here behind home plate. Thank you, Greg, for your service and your time. We have Dennis. Dennis, 7 years in the United States Navy and 40 years of public service at the United States Navy War College. Where are you, Dennis? Thank you, Dennis. We have John Somerville, who is also retired Navy, 25 years. John Somerville, thank you. Nick Lima, our head of our broadcast department, our director of baseball ops. He's a retired Army crewman. Nick, thank you for your service, Nick. We'd like to recognize Rob Sanchez, who served in the Army. He was injured in the line of duty in Gulf War. Rob Sanchez. He's also part of our broadcast crew. I'd like to recognize our Humvee from the Rhode Island National Guard. Thank you, gentlemen, for your service. Let's give a big hand, folks, for our best, our Navy Northeast Band. I'd like to also acknowledge someone else as this comes full circle tonight. Captain Richard Bergeron. He's from the Canadian Navy. He graduated from the Naval War College in the year 2000. He served in the Canadian Navy for 38 years. 11 of those years were in the U.S. His last assignment was Naval Attaché in Washington when he retired in 2012. Let's welcome back home Mr. Richard Bergeron. Thank you, sir. And now how that's all tied together. I'd like to introduce his son, Michael Bergeron. In 2000, he was a 2001 and 2002 Newport Gull. Michael played his baseball at Brigham Young University and is from Canada, but attended Middletown High School while his father was studying at the Naval War College and was named Rhode Island Gatorade Player of the Year. He played his college baseball at St. Petersburg College in Florida, as I mentioned earlier. And currently, he lives in Utah. In 2001 with the Gulls, he was 3-0 as a reliever. But in 2002, when he came into his own, posting a 6-2 record with an 8.14 earned run average. In 49 innings, he gave up only 38 hits and struck out 51 batters. In 2002 playoffs, he dominated by going 2-0 with an ERA of .54, completing the final game here at Cardines to win the championship for the Newport Gulls against the Keene Swamp Bats. And that was a two-hitter, folks. As a Gull, Michael was 11-2. With 89 innings pitched, he gave up only 67 hits, striking out 89, and the opposing batters had a 1.88 batting average against him. In 2002, he received the NECBL Most Valuable Player Award, or Most Improved Player, and named Second Team All-League. He's married to his wife Penny and has 3 daughters, Isabel, Cambry, and Brielle, and reside in West Provo, Utah. And in 2010, folks, he was elected to the Newport Gulls Hall of Fame. Let's welcome back our Hall of Famer, Mike Bergeron. Mike, it's great to have you back home. And now I'd like to introduce his teammate from those same 2 years, Greg Fader Jr., 2001-2002 Newport Gull, who attended high school locally here in Newport at Rogers and attended Villanova University. Greg was a catcher and one of the leaders of that 2001 and 2002 teams that won consecutive NECBL championships. Greg now resides in Milton, Mass. with his wife Kelly and their 2 children, Everett and Natalie. Let's welcome back home Greg Fader Jr. Between those 2 guys, they have 4 championships between them. That's very impressive. Now I'd like to ask you all to rise. As our colors are presented today by the Newport Artillery Company. And the Marine Corps Detachment, Newport.
Wonderful rendition of the national anthem presented by the Navy Band Northeast there. And our colors presented by Newport Artillery Company and Marine Corps Detachment of Newport. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have Newport Gulls baseball in the starting lineups for you here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Cardines Field. An extensive pregame ceremony for you there, but so important. And that's why we picked the whole thing up on the field as we honored. It is Military Appreciation Night here, and much deserved appreciation. But Tolan Vaquero here alongside Quinn Kelly, and I guess while we have the moment, why don't we go over the starting lineups, Quinn?
Absolutely. Well, a little bit different lineup, not too much change though from last night when the Pilgrims took on Newport back home in Plymouth. Leading things off is Ryan Brown. He's playing center field. Riley Delgado hits second and plays second. Jeremy Pena slides into the 3-hole, up 2 spots from last night, and plays short. Cole Gordon is in his typical cleanup role and playing first base. Brian Sharp behind him, hitting 5th, playing 3rd. Liam O'Regan bats 6th and plays right. Cam Hanley batting 7th and doing the DHing for the Pilgrims tonight. Hitting 8th, Damon Hecker, and playing left. And Joey Thomas, the catcher, rounds out the order.
Thanks, Quinn. As for the Gulls, it's going to be Jake Cousins on the mound tonight. Right-handed pitcher out of the University of Pennsylvania. On the year, he's 2-1 with a 4.24 ERA, 34 innings of work. You see the 27 strikeouts and the 16 walks. His last time out, only 2.2 innings pitched, 8 runs allowed, so that really impacted his ERA. In the field behind him for the lineup for the Gulls, you'll have Cole Fabio leading things off at second base. He hit a home run last night. Troy Dixon behind the plate. Stephen Scott, another guy who hit a home run, bats 3rd with Jake Brote batting 4th. Trey Harris in the 5 spot. He's in the left field. Connor Kaiser, shortstop tonight. Mark Powell will be the DH. And Mike Korn at 3rd base with Travis Young out in center field. It's Charlie Carpenter who hit a home run last night, getting the day off. And the weather tonight, it's going to be a nice one. 80 degrees and sunny. It's been hot all day. Winds 12 miles from southwest. As for the home plate umpire today, it's going to be Mike Griffin, and the base umpire is going to be Frank Auditori out there for us. So, Quinn, we can finally talk a little bit about last night's ball game. It was a power display by the Gulls. 6 home runs hit there at Forges Field. We were on the call, but what do you look for today coming in?
Well, I expect it to be much different. They had a pitcher last night who was coming out of the bullpen, had a pretty high ERA as it was, and was known to give up a home run or 2 now and again. But now they've got the ace for the Pilgrims out there tonight in Andrew Mitchell, so I expect things to be a little bit different, but the Gulls will certainly be looking to jump over Pilgrims pitching again. For the Pilgrims, it's all about getting that offense going. They are near perfect in ball games in which they take an early lead in, so you just got to look for them to come out charging here in the first inning, and I suspect that after going so long without scoring last night, they'll try to do that here.
Absolutely, and you know, it's not going to be easy, but still just a game and a half out of that number 4 spot to get into the playoffs. It's still possible. I mean,
absolutely.
It'll take some wins. It'll take some aids, maybe some New Bedford loss, but they still got something to play for here tonight against the Gulls, and it should be a good one.
No, absolutely. I'd say they're not out of it yet. This game is going to be pretty determinant into whether or not they make it in. But yeah, New Bedford losing last night was big for the Pilgrims. They didn't lose any ground, and now a game and a half out, they'd get within a half game if the Schooners, who are leading the league, are able to take down the Bay Sox tonight.
Well, it's going to be a tough task for the Pilgrims facing the Gulls. They've played 5 times this year, and it's the Gulls who have won all 5 games on the year, as Ryan Brown steps into the box, and the first pitch of the game just misses outside. So for Cousins, his last time out, not the best start for him. 2.2 innings of work after appearing in the All-Star game, a shutdown inning in the All-Star game, but he allowed 8 runs on 7 hits, walked 2, struck out nothing, and so he'll look for a bounce-back performance here. The 1-1 pitch on the way, misses low. 2-1 the count on Brown. But prior to his last time out, he hadn't allowed more than 3 runs in a game all season. And just low with the fastball, 3-1. Cousins already being squeezed up there by home plate umpire Mike Griffin. A 3-1 pitch. Just outside, ball 4, so a leadoff walk drawn by the Pilgrims. That's the way to start the ball game, get the leadoff guy on.
Well, Brown continues to find success against the Gulls. He was 3 for 4 last night, reached 4 times, also had a walk, and now he's on here to start the game. He's the leading hitter for the Pilgrims in matchups against the Gulls, 9 for 18 so far this year.
And that brings up Riley Delgado now. As for the Gulls, pretty much the same lineup out there in the field that the Pilgrims faced last night, although Mike Corrin takes over at third base. Trey Harris moves into left field with Charlie Carpenter getting the night off. Trey Harris with the home run last night. Connor Kaiser with the home run. Cole Fabio, Jake Brote, Charlie Carpenter, Steven Scott. Pretty much almost everyone in the starting lineup as the pickoff attempt gets away from Brote there. And able to advance to second is Brown. We've seen that happen a couple times here at Cardines Field on pickoff attempts. A pitch to Delgado, swinging a dribbler towards the Gulls dugout, so that'll be an error there on Jake Cousins on the throw over to first.
And now a big spot here for Delgado. The Pilgrims have a man in scoring position with no outs here in the first inning, something they weren't able to do until the 6th inning of last night's ball game.
And they still managed to push 4 runs across, although the Gulls just kept swinging a hot bat. But if you're the Pilgrims, getting a run here in the first would be huge for them.
Yeah, absolutely would be. We found that as of late, when they are able to get a run in the first inning, more often than not, they're able to get a couple before the opposing team puts one up on them.
Cousins comes set, checks on the runner at second. The 0-2, swinging a line drive back up the middle, backhanded by Fabio, who throws on to first in time. 4 out number 1 here in the first inning. But Delgado, I guess, successful at bat, as he's able to advance Brown to third with 1 out now, and it would be a disappointment if the Pilgrims were unable to push Brown across.
Yeah, absolutely. They'll have 2 chances with 2 very strong hitters, though. 2 hitters coming off of tough nights. It starts with Jeremy Pena, who was 0 for 4 in the game against the Gulls last night with a pair of Ks.
But then you do have Gordon on deck, who flew out to left field, 4 times last night?
Yeah.
As that pitch roped back to Kaiser. He thought about coming home, but instead goes to first. So an RBI ground out there for Pena. And the Pilgrims score first here at Cardines Field. They lead 1-0.
And that's exactly how the Pilgrims wanted to get things going. And I know we talked about it last night when we saw Cole Gordon have that sac fly for an RBI, but the Pilgrims really struggle at times to play situational baseball, and a pair of groundouts there did exactly what they needed to do, nothing more, nothing less. And you know, it's nice to see them get back to fundamentals here as the season starts to wane on them.
Well, it's not often you say that groundouts actually get the job done. 2 successful groundouts hit exactly where they needed to be hit, as Gordon fouls that back into the screen. Looking at these 2 teams' stats, they're both good pitching teams. They're both good offensive teams. What's the issue been for the Pilgrims this year, just in terms of piecing it all together? Runners in scoring position, I know we talked about a little.
Yeah, we talked about that. It's that they put themselves, at least through that middle stretch of the season where they really fell towards the basement of the Southern Division, it was just that they could not push across runners. They got into scoring position.
So 1-1 by Gordon, fouled back, and he's very unhappy with himself. Missed a fastball right down the middle.
Yeah, we saw him take one of those out over the house in center field the last trip here for the Pilgrims.
Probably one of the farthest balls I've seen hit here at Cardines Field to right center. And it was an absolute bomb off the bat of Gordon. He has 7 home runs this year. So he fouls that one back.
Yeah, truly immense power from him. And you know, he participated in the home run derby here during All-Star weekend.
Do you know how many he hit?
I want to say he hit 4. I believe he came in 3rd place, but I can't remember exactly how many he hit.
So here's the 1-2 pitch. Tried to check his swing, and they say he went around. So the first strikeout of the game for Cousins. He went all his last time out without one, so he finally gets one here. But the Pilgrims are able to push one across. They get 1 run on no hits. No one left on. We head to the bottom of the first. It's the Pilgrims 1, and the Gulls coming to bat here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Cardines Field. Pilgrims taking the field for the first time, and here to tell you about their pitcher and set the defense for you, Quinn Kelly.
Thank you very much. Starting today for the Pilgrims will be Andrew Mitchell. Mitchell out of Auburn University, one of 2 Tigers on the roster. His fellow Tiger playing out in left. On the year, Andrew Mitchell has a 4.01 ERA. He's got a 2-2 record. He's really been had the brunt of some poor defense behind him that haven't really manifested in unearned runs, but runs that probably should not have come across. He's given up 19 earned, 20 in total, but only 31 hits through 42 2/3 innings. He's walked 20 and struck out 25, so not an overpowering strikeout pitcher, but he has some pretty good stuff, and when he gets that breaking ball working, it's very tough to pick him up. And let's take a look at the defense behind him. Out in left, his teammate at Auburn, Damon Hecker, Ryan Brown in center, and Liam O'Regan on right. Across the diamond, we have Brian Sharp at third, Jeremy Pena at short, Riley Delgado at second, and Cole Gordon at first. Joey Thomas will be doing the catching for Mitchell tonight.
Thank you, Quinn. So here's Cole Fabio now at the plate, who had a great night last night, including his first home run of the year, a solo shot to left field, and it was pretty much a no-doubter.
Yeah, it was, as so many of them were last night. They were just getting out of Forges Field in a hurry.
As it's quickly 2-0 to Fabio, the pitch from Mitchell, swinging a high fly ball, popped up in the infield. Pena calls for it and settles under to make the catch. 1 away.
Good start to the ball game there, weak contact. We saw there was a home run in the first inning of last night's ball game, and Kevin Saperko, every batter in that inning hit him really hard. Most of them were right at somebody.
And that kind of just continued throughout the game.
Yeah, it really did. He was getting hit hard from beginning to end of his outing.
So here's Troy Dixon now, who last night was 2 for 4 before being pulled from the game. He's hitting .432 over his last 10 games, and he currently leads the NECBL in batting average. He takes a first pitch fastball on the outside corner. Mitchell, you mentioned your ace. That 4.01 ERA won't shock you, but that's pretty good for this league.
Yeah, it is. I mean, he's kept the Pilgrims in a lot of the ball games they've been in, but he hasn't had the greatest of run support, and as I mentioned, the defense has been really poor behind him.
And another issue for the Pilgrims we talked about last night is only 4 bullpen members out there. They had to use several position players in relief last night.
Yeah, well, we just lost Vincenzo Aiello. He will be attending Oklahoma University next year, and he was shut down for the remainder of the summer.
As Dixon grounds that one right side, there is Delgado, who throws on to first. In time, 2 gone.
And we've had just a rash of injuries. Jack Conley gone, bone spurs in his arm. Jeff Shank gone with surgery. So just a number of people that are out for the Pilgrims. And yeah, you said it, they've got 4 in the bullpen tonight. So if it's a close game, they're really going to be scraping for arms. They're hoping that Mitchell can carry him pretty deep into this one.
So far, so good. And here's Steven Scott now, who last night, as he fouls that back out of play, started 0 for 2, flew out to center, flew out to right, and then proceeded to home run and single in his next 2 at-bats, so he ended 3 for 5. The 0-1 pitch, swinging a line drive back up the middle, fielded by Delgado, who throws on to first, and it's an easy one there for Mitchell, exactly what they needed here in the bottom of the first inning. As he sets the side down in order, we head to the top of the second here at Cardines Field. It's the Pilgrims who maintain a 1-0 lead over the Gulls on the NECBL Broadcast Network.
All right, fans, it is time for our first contact.
Welcome back, folks. Just about set to begin the top half of the second, but before we do, let's set the defense for you for the Newport Gulls. It's going to go like this from left to right in the outfield. It's going to be Trey Harris in left with Travis Young out in center field and Steven Scott out in right at third base. Mike Corin, Connor Kaiser, the defensive king at shortstop with Cole Fabio at second, Jake Brote at first, and Troy Dixon behind the plate today doing the catching for the Gulls. Jake Cousin looked good in his first inning. It was the error that allowed partially that run to score, but even more impressive was Mitchell for the Pilgrims. You gotta like what you saw out of him here in the first.
Absolutely. We talked yesterday about how the biggest inning is after you go out and get some run support, and we saw the starter yesterday, Shriver for the Gulls, do just that. He shut down the Pilgrims 2 innings after getting runs. Mitchell does it here tonight, exactly what you're supposed to do.
And now leading things off in the top of the second, Brian Sharp. He's playing third base today. Took the first pitch up and away, now the 1-0. Swinging a line drive right field. That's going to split the gap and head to the wall as Steven Scott plays the carom off the fence. Sharp jogs into second. He'll be in standing. A leadoff double, and it's back-to-back innings. The Pilgrims have the leadoff man on.
And back-to-back innings, they'll have the leadoff man on second in scoring position with no outs. They did exactly what they were supposed to last inning, just a couple of ground ball outs that drove Ryan Brown in after he moved up on the error from Cousins, and now they're in a prime position to tack on another here with Sharp at second already. If they can just get a couple of similar outs from O'Regan and Hanley, if not something more, they'll really be cooking up there.
Well, we didn't see Sharp in last night's ball game. Was that just a typical day off?
Yeah, just a day off. He'd played a number of days before that. Just get him a little rest, get ready for the long stretch.
So here's Liam O'Regan. Takes the first pitch at the knees for a called strike. And if you're Cousins here, not allowing Sharp to score from second would be huge for your psyche. As that pitch in on the hand, it looks like it hit him there. Hand of O'Regan.
Yeah, and this is not a good sight for the Pilgrims. They've lost Jesse Baker, their day-to-day right fielder, or everyday right fielder, who is out with recurring back injuries. So he's shut down for the season. O'Regan looks to be the primary right fielder for the duration, and tough to see him wear one on the hand like that.
Hopefully he's all right. Especially towards the end of the season, you don't want to see anyone getting hurt.
And just
just
going forward in the game, keep an eye on the interactions between Mike Griffin, the plate umpire, and third base coach Lou Priotti for the Pilgrims. He was unhappy with the called strike on Cole Gordon that said he went around, and couldn't believe that they said that one hit part of the bat from O'Regan.
Well, keep an eye on that as O'Regan goes down swinging on the next pitch. Second strikeout of the game for Cousins, and as I mentioned, it's huge for him not to allow Sharp to score from second. His last time out, similar start to the ball game, leadoff runners getting on, and he just wasn't able to settle himself down. He was a little frustrated with some pitch calls, and that led to the 8 runs in just 2 1/3 innings for Cousins. And the Gulls really need him to go farther into the game here today.
Well, he really combated that leadoff double perfectly there with the strikeout.
Cousins, in his time at the University of Pennsylvania, has 99 strikeouts. As that pitch drilled into center field, it's going to drop in front of Young, who fields it on a hop. But it was too hard hit to allow Sharp to score, but now first and third, just 1 out here for Damon Hecker.
And the situation tough for Cousins because you have that man on third, but obviously not the worst. With Hanley standing at first, he's got a chance he could turn to easily here. Hanley not really great speed at all on first base. Hecker has a little bit in the box, but if he can get Hecker to roll over here, it's not the same situation for the Pilgrims with 1 out and a man on third. That runner wouldn't come in if he can turn 2 up the middle. So this mound meeting now, I'm sure that's exactly what coach is telling Cousins. Just try to get something on the ground, take advantage of Hecker here and then bottom of the Pilgrims order.
Absolutely. Coach Daryl Morehart out there telling him, listen, Jake, Runners on first and third, 1 out. Ground ball here could end the inning. Limit the damage here. Don't get in your head. You've thrown some good pitches out there so far. You just also missed some spots. So see if Cousins can compose himself. A very talented pitcher. He's one of those guys that really likes to show his emotions out there, though. When he's frustrated, you can tell him. When things are going good, you can tell. And a good pitch there to Hecker to start off the at-bat, 0-1. Cousins does have a good changeup. As long as he can keep it low in the zone here, this would be a good time to throw it as he comes set. The 0-1 pitch. Just missing outside. Cousins unhappy with the call.
Hecker was 2 for 4 last night with an RBI, looking for second RBI in as many days here off of Cousins.
See Kaiser playing deep up the middle. Cole Fabio shaded a little more in the hole with the lefty at the plate. Cousins checks on the runner at third. Definitely wasn't expecting anyone to go there, just kind of a bailout pickoff move. So the count's still 1-1. Now the pitch from Cousins. Just missing outside, 2-1.
Yeah, similar spot, and he's missing just up and away from Hecker. Very, very close to the top of that zone. Just got to bring it down a little bit here.
A 2-1 pitch, swinging a high fly ball towards deep center field. That should be good enough to get the run in from third as Young fields it, and it's a slow throw into Kaiser. So a sacrifice fly there from Hecker as that brings in Brian Sharp from third. The Pilgrims now lead 2-0 over the Gulls here.
And again here through 2 innings, see 2 opportunities for the Pilgrims to play good situational baseball, and that's exactly what they're doing. They know the importance of this game, and they're coming out looking pretty good here through the first 2, taking advantage of a pretty good pitcher in Cousins.
Yeah, Cousins a very good pitcher. It's just the last outing that he struggled. But still, just 2 runs. I mean, for this Gulls offense, that's perfectly okay. You expect them to score at least 5-6 a game at the rate they've been going. 15-6 in the month of July, folks, as that pitch, a slow roller hit on the ground towards Fabio. He throws over to first in time to retire the side. Cousins walking off a little unhappy with himself, but he limits the damage. Just 1 run on 2 hits, and he strands 1. We head to the bottom half of the second here at Cardines Field. It's the Pilgrims over the Gulls by a score of 2-0 on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Cardines Field. It's the Gulls who trail the Pilgrims here, heading into the bottom of the second by a score of 2-0. And while we have a second, let's pause 10 seconds for a quick station identification.
CTV 18 Newport County, the World Wide Web, and on DVD. This is Newport Gulls baseball on the NECBL Broadcast Network.
So Quinn, a quick start for the Pilgrims here. They've scored 1 in each of the first 2 times up at the plate. It's a good start for them, and this is a big game, and that's got to be good for the mentality.
Absolutely, it is a big game. We talked about it at the top of the broadcast, and it'll continue to be talked about throughout the game. This is a near must-win for the Pilgrims with 5 games left, sitting a game and a half out of a playoff position. It's the best chance to take advantage of the Bay Sox because they're playing the division leader and league leader in Mystic, and then we're in New Bedford tomorrow night, so the Pilgrims a quick chance to move right into the playoff position over the next 2 games. Now they're going to have to lean on Andrew Mitchell a little bit here to try to protect this lead.
So here's Jake Brote leading off here in the bottom half of the second. Last night, a tremendous night for him. 3 for 5 with a home run, 2 RBIs, and 2 singles. So he'll look to continue that here against Mitchell at a 1-2-3 inning back in the first. And quickly 2-0 the count on Brote. And it was really an impressive 2-run home run for him. Both of us thought it was a lazy fly ball to right.
And it just kept carrying and carrying and carrying, and it got out of there. And, yeah, I was surprised.
it was just surprising to me, especially because we didn't know for sure the dimensions, but when I walked in there, first thing I said to you is, wow, it's a huge ballpark, huh? And then they proceed to hit 6 home runs out of it. As Broat drills that one to deep right field, ranging back on it is Brown, and it's off the top of the fence. Broat rounds second, he'll head rounds first, he heads into second. A standoff double for him to lead off. And the Gulls do exactly what the Pilgrims did in the top half, a leadoff double.
And now Mitchell just going to have to try to get better results than Cousin did. Really bear down here. Important not to let Broat come around and protect this lead a little bit. You mentioned he's not a big strikeout pitcher, but if there was a time he needed to get one, it would be here.
And now here's Trey Harris, who also had a home run. And you saw where that ball hit up the fence. I don't know if it would have got out at Forges, but that also is what aided the Gulls. 2 or 3 home runs just cleared.
Yeah.
But then 3 of them were also moon
Yes,
shots.
right, exactly. It was a little bit of both. They were doing it every way on the long ball.
As Harris hits that one back up the middle, fielded by Delgado, who's been busy early on in this game. And another productive ground out as Harris advances Broat to third, and now Kaiser with a chance of putting the first run across for the Gulls.
Well, the Gulls doing it situationally right on the heels of the Pilgrims. Harris did exactly what you're supposed to do in that situation and put one on the right side of the infield. No problem getting over for Broat. And now 90 feet away from moving this ball game back within 1.
First pitch to Kaiser, fouled back out of play. So that's the 13th double of the year for Jake Broat. That puts him in a tie for second place now. And in third place, his teammate Troy Dixon, who has 12. A pitch to Kaiser, swinging a line drive, right side, towards the hole. Good fielding play by Delgado, who throws out Kaiser. But it's an RBI ground out there, and the Gulls get their first run of the game. It's now 2-1 Pilgrims, but Delgado's been so busy. That's the 4th time he's had to make a play, and that was a tremendous one there.
Absolutely, it was. He was a former Gold Glove Award winner in the junior college ranks in 2014. He was the Defensive Player of the Year there, and he's a traditional shortstop, but getting Sharp's bat in the lineup shifts everybody over, and he's playing second today, and looks like no problem there. Excellent play.
So an RBI on the ground out for Kaiser. And now Powell at the plate, who hits it on the ground towards Pena. First pitch, throws over to first in time to retire the side. So another fairly good inning of work for Mitchell. He does surrender 1 run on the double and ground out by Connor Kaiser, but we head into the top half of the third now at Cardines Field. It's the Pilgrims ahead of the Gulls 2-1 on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Welcome back, folks, as we get set to start the top half of the third. But first, let's send it over to Megan Wendell real quick, and she'll update us on other action going on around the league here in the NECBL.
Thanks, Tolan. Just waiting a minute for the scores to update. All right. So over at Fitch High School, the New Bedford Bay Sox and Mystic Schooners are playing. Right now, the Schooners are winning 5-0. In the bottom of the second at Rogers Park, we have the Ocean State Waves 1 and Danbury Westerners 0. Then in the top of the third at Goodall Park, Upper Valley Nighthawks lead 1-0 against the Sanford Mainers. And in the top of the third at Alumni Field, the Keene Swamp Bats are leading 5-0 against the Valley Blue Sox.
Thank you, Megan. And Mystic just continues to cruise. They're now up 5-0 over the New Bedford Bay Sox in the 4th inning there. So the Gulls are going to need a win here, it's looking like, if they want to keep pace with Mystic, although still a lot of baseball to play there.
That's huge for the Pilgrims. They need the New Bedford loss to try to move back up, and Mystic up ahead early. And if Ocean State's results hold, that one far earlier in the ball game, but it would really be a perfect storm for the Pilgrims. They'd pick up a game on New Bedford and Danbury, move into a tie with Danbury, and just a half game out from New Bedford.
So we'll be keeping a close eye on the scoreboard all game as Cousins paints the outside corner there. 1-1 the count on Delgado. It was Ryan Brown who led off. He had a long fly ball to Harris out and left. As that pitch skied in the air towards shallow left field. Kaiser ranging back, calls for it, and makes the catch. 2 gone. So an F7 and an F6 to start the top half of the third, and Cousins hoping for a 1-2-3.
Yeah, looking much better in this inning than either of the previous 2. Gave up the walk to start the ball game, and then the double to lead off the second. Gets the first 2 outs here, no problem. And doing a much better job. You look aside from those, I mean, he's only given up 2 hits, and really he's gotten each player out after those leadoff guys.
A good fastball there paints the outside corner.
Looks like the outside part of the plate's definitely going to be open for business tonight.
If you're a righty, the lefties haven't. It's kind of been an odd strike zone so far.
Yeah. Early in this one, we'll see if it gets reeled in a bit.
Cousins already has gone longer than his previous start. As that pitch drilled to deep left field, if it was fair, it would have been way out of here. Finds America's Cup Avenue out there.
Better call. Newport Glass.
Yeah, Payne, you got a hold of that one just a little bit early on the inside pitch. If you just waited a second more, he would have been taking that one for a ride.
A 1-2 pitch from Cousins. Swing and a miss. He blew the fastball by him. Third strikeout of the game for Jake Cousins. He gets a much-needed 1-2-3 inning here in the top of the third. We head to the bottom half. It's the Pilgrims 2, the Gulls 1 on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Bottom half of the third set to get underway, as it'll be Mike Corin leading things off for the Gulls here. The Gulls trailing the Pilgrims by 1 run so far. It's been a polar opposite compared to last night, which I'm kind of happy to see.
Yeah, it really has. It's been much slower paced offensive game. A much tighter one at this juncture of the ball game.
So here's Corin. He was a new signing for the Gulls, and he grounds the first pitch to Pena, who throws him out. 1 up and 1 down. Good start to the inning for Mitchell.
Yeah, 1 pitch, 1 out. Can't get any better than that, and he really needs a 1-2-3. It's really going to be just a back and forth between him and Cousins, it looks like, and he's going to have to try to go tit for tat, as Cousins looked a lot more settled last inning than the previous 2, and with a 1-run ball game, you'd hope that Mitchell can come right back out here and match Cousins' 1-2-3 inning in the top half of the third.
He'll face Travis Young here, who last night went 0 for 4, was hit by a pitch, struck out twice. He's really been struggling a little bit over the last 10 games, just 1 hit in 24 at-bats, .042 clip, so he'll look to turn it around.
Yeah, you're a pitcher that's good news and bad news on the one hand. He's a guy that you know you can attack, you can try to get out. On the other hand, superstitious-wise, he's due.
Absolutely, the 1-1, and he bunts a good one down the third base line. That's gonna just roll foul.
Good break there for the Eagles. That one was, for the Pilgrims. That was a very well-placed ball, and it would have looked like a hit there for Young, no doubt, but Thomas, playing smart, knew that he was already out of a chance to get him at first, so he just lets that one roll foul, and luckily it turned over to the left of that foul line.
And Young, I think, thought about doing the same thing last night. Sometimes when you're struggling, it can feel like the weight of the world's on your shoulders. You just need that 1 hit, and once you get it, helps you snap out of it. And Young can fly. I missed the All-Star game, but from what I heard, I think in the 60, he ran a 6.3, which is, for those of you back home, that's going to impress some scouts. As Young goes down swinging there, 4 out number 2.
Beautiful breaking ball there by Mitchell, just dropped off the table, and Young couldn't do anything with it. First strikeout of the ball game for Mitchell. It's a big one.
And we've officially gone through. We're back to the top here. The Newport Gulls lineup. Cole Fabio, who flew out to Pena at short his first time up. And the pitch right down the middle, taken for a called strike. Corin looking for another 1-2-3 inning. The pitch Again, right down the middle, taken by Fabio. It's back-to-back fastballs. I wonder if he's been expecting an off-speed pitch from Mitchell.
I think Mitchell has a good fastball, brings some good heat, and he's got excellent breaking stuff when he has it working, and then has a nice changeup that he'll pepper in there.
Well, it's a 0-2 count. The pitch to Fabio, just missing away.
I like the idea from Mitchell. That's a spot that we talked about earlier, has been open for the pitchers all night, and he just missed a little bit outside off the outside edge of the plate to Fabio.
The 1-2, swinging a ground ball left side, fair ball over the bag. It's going to be a base hit for Cole Fabio. And a little bit of an argument down there from Sharp, as he thought that went foul, as did I.
I mean, I agree. I thought it went foul, but if not, talk about just getting in there. I mean, that one is as close as it possibly could have been. Bounced a good distance in front of the bag, just right to the right of the line, and then ended up foul on the next bounce. But wherever it crossed over, it was apparently behind the bag.
So does it just have to get a little part of the bag in foul territory, or does it have to go over the whole thing? And
well, because the bag is right on the line, I guess any part of the bag would be fair, because if it...
So it may...
yeah. I mean, it would be tough to tell a ball halfway in foul.
Dixon laces that to left field, but right at Hecker. A little unlucky as he hit the ball hard. So the Gulls unable to capitalize on the 2-out single by Fabio. And we head to the top half of the 4th inning here at Cardines Field. It is the Pilgrims 2, the Gulls 1, here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Jake Cousins on the mound for the Gulls, gets set for the top half of the 4th. And here to take you through innings 4, 5, and 6, Quinn Kelly.
Thank you very much, Tolan. Pilgrims starting with the right man in the 4th, trying to open up perhaps a larger lead on the Gulls. They are up 2-1 now, and Cole Gordon will step in for his second at-bat off of Cousins tonight. Struck out in his first. It'll be 4, 5, and 6, Gordon, Sharp, and O'Regan.
The first baseman, number 35, Cole.
Well, for Cousins, first inning and the second inning, he looked good, but wasn't quite as sharp as he would have liked to be, allowing the Pilgrims to score those 2 runs. And then last inning kind of settled down the 1-2-3 with the strikeout, so hopefully he can continue that.
First pitch here to Gordon, and he leaves that one alone outside, ball 1. One-0 pitch is swung on and lifted high, but foul out of play on the left side. That'll even the count at a ball and a strike.
Better call, Newport Glass.
And when you're sitting field level, Gordon's even bigger than what he looks up here.
Absolutely, 6'5", 260. Takes a breaking ball over the top, 2-1. Yeah, he's a big kid. Comes into today hitting 274. Into this at bat at least. 2-1, swung on, fouled off on the left side and out of play again. And interesting to note, he is traditionally a dead pull hitter, to the point where we even saw New Bedford shifting to have 3 infielders on the right side against him, but he flew out every time last night to left field. Takes strike 3 on the inside half of the plate. Cannot believe he left that one. He is extremely frustrated with himself. 0 for 2 now with 2 Ks as he walks back to the dugout.
And a good sign there for Cousins. Coming inside on the lefty, a powerful lefty. You can tell that he's got confidence in his fastball, and that's the 4th strikeout of the game for him so far.
Yeah, Gordon had seen a bunch of breaking balls, just wasn't expecting the heat inside and left it alone. Ooh. That one coming inside again with the heat, but missing. And it's 1-0 now to Sharp. Sharp doubled and scored to lead off the second.
And Cousins very upset out there. Takes a long walk behind the mound. Thought that was a strike.
1-0 pitch to Sharp. Misses away. It's 2-0. You talked about how sometimes you can get flustered with the calls, and you don't like to see one close like that and then have him back it up with one way out of the zone. He's going to try to reel it in here. Pitch to Sharp. Surprise! I'm not sure where that one missed. I guess over
Maybe
the top.
Home plate umpire is kind of doesn't like the body language of him out there, but that really was right down the middle.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Same spot as that one, so I'm not really sure. It's 3-1.
Huh.
I mean, Cousins is pretty
funny to
demonstrative out on the mound right now, but that 2-0, definitely a missed call. That one on the inside, Black. And it'll be a full count now. Sharp going to have to battle here. Cousins kicks and deals. The payoff pitch. Swung on, lifted foul on the left side again. Bunch of balls going out of play there.
So he set up the fastball here now. It's been all fastballs this at bat. I wonder if he'll come back with a breaking ball here. Cousins doesn't throw that curve often. It's more of a slider.
Payoff pitch, and that one is laced to center. It is up, and it is off the top of the wall. Oh, just a few feet from getting out of here, but Sharp's going to have to trot into second with his second double of the night.
Well, that's a 415-foot double. 398 out there with a 27-foot fence, and it hit about with half a foot to spare.
That, I mean, that's the very top of the wall, just missing the home run there with Sharp. And, yeah, you said it, to pretty much straight away center. Travis Young just turned and looked up at it. And
he thought it was out.
Yeah. I think a lot of people in the ballpark did, but nevertheless, it's just a long, long double for Sharp, who with that climbs above the 300 mark, now hitting 301. Liam O'Regan now at the plate for the Pilgrims. That one in the dirt. Sharp's going to head to third, and he will be in there. The throw gets away into the outfield, and Sharp is going to trot in leisurely to home. It's 3-1, the Pilgrims with the lead.
Well, now keep your eye on Cousins out there. He didn't take very well to that.
So it's going to be a wild pitch to Cousins that gives Brian Sharp third, and then an error on the catcher that allows him to come in. So the run unearned for Cousins.
Is that the second unearned run?
No, I don't believe so, because the only other error was on Cousins back in the first. Nevertheless, 3-1 now. It's 1-1 on O'Regan. One low and out, 2-1. Sharp's night looking pretty good so far. 2 trips to the plate, 2 doubles, 2 runs scored. No help from the Pilgrims on that last one. O'Regan swings through the 2-1. And the count evens up. A nice pitch there. Good spot from Cousins right on the outside Black. 2-2 pitch. That one just misses close. Looked like he was on the plate, but maybe just a little bit high. I think we're still struggling to figure out this zone from Mike Griffin. That one misses away. It's a walk. So Cousins a bit flustered out on the mound now. And with 1 out, Pilgrims have another runner aboard.
The designated hitter, number 33, Cameron.
He's really showing the emotions out there.
He is kicking dirt around, strutting around the mound. Now he's shaking his head, talking to the catcher Troy Dixon, but maybe more so directed at Mike Griffin, the home plate umpire. Not going to help win you any calls, though. That one in the dirt to Hanley. Steps in now. Hanley singled in his first at bat. 1-0 count. O'Regan. Good to see he was no worse for wear after the ball that got him on the hand in the first at bat. That one, same spot in the dirt, inside part of the plate. And it's 2-0. And that's going to bring out the pitching coach. Morehart going out to have a chat with Cousins, who is really looking to have lost a bit of his composure here in the fourth.
Yeah, and that's something that pitching coach Daryl Morehart and I talked about after his last outing. He said Cousins, extremely talented guy out there. He just gets in his head a lot in situations where sometimes it's not even necessary, just a walk. But still, it'll affect him more than usual. So that's why he's gone out there, try to calm him down.
And a good move by Daryl Morehart, because really with one out here, yeah, he's got the 2-0 count, but just a man on first, there's not too much danger right now. But the way he's going out on the mound, some more could develop for him quickly. He's going to have to try to bring the fastball back up, center himself. Does so here with a 2-0 fouled off by Hanley. Into the bleachers, past it.
Center call. Newport Gulls.
So it's going to be 2-1 now. O'Regan with a pretty conservative lead off of first. He's taking off. 2-1 to Dixon. To Hanley is out of the zone, but Dixon didn't collect it well and elected not to throw. It's a straight steal for O'Regan. And a 3-1 count now on Hanley.
That's a big stolen base there. Takes the double play out of a possibility here for Cousins.
Now it's 3-1 though. Could bring it right back in if he lets up a walk to Hanley. That one right down Broad Street. Hanley swings through it. Count goes full.
It's a big pitch here for Cousins. He needs a strikeout or now another walk. I don't think pitching coach Daryl Morehart would be too happy, or Cousins himself.
Would not be the worst situation, though, with first base open. Hits that one down the middle. It's a sinking liner. Harris in on it. He's going to have a play at second. He throws. Not in time to get O'Regan. The slide looked like it may have pulled Fabio off the bag, but flirting with fire there with the Pilgrims. O'Regan, not the greatest bit of base running there as he took off from second thinking the liner would fall in and had to charge back in, just beating the throw from Harrison left.
Heads up play there from Trey Harris. And it was a good throw to Fabio, but
it was right on the money.
So big out there for Cousins.
Absolutely it was. He fell behind 3-1, battled back and gets Hanley there. Now he's got Damon Hecker to deal with. Hecker takes ball one in the dirt. Hecker 0 for 0 today, came up once and had a sacrifice fly, good for an RBI in the second that brought in Sharp. Gonna need a hit here if he wants to bring in O'Regan though. Pitch is check swung and just tapped over to the backstop by Hecker. Frustrated with himself, should have let that one go. It was coming in low of the zone.
You know what always impresses me here is how quick our scoreboard guy is at getting balls and strikes up on the board. As soon as that was fouled off, I look over, he's already up there.
1-1 pitch, that one fouled off down the first base line and towards that right field bleacher. So now Hecker going to have to battle. 2 strikes on him here, 2 outs in the fourth. Pilgrims have scratched one across. They lead it now 3-1. Cousins sets. O'Regan stands off of second. The pitch in the dirt, right around the toes of Damon Hecker, and it's 2-2.
And I think there may be someone working out in the pen for the Gulls. Not quite sure though.
Cousins ready to go here. Another chance on Hecker. That one swung on lightly, fouled off. Just getting a piece with Hecker to stay alive. It's hitting 171 right now. It's been on the climb as of late, aided by that 2 for 4 night last night. Hit here for the Pilgrims and Hecker would be huge. Cousins looking for that third and final out. 2-2 pitch. Swung on, lifted in the infield. And coming over onto the mound to make the catch as a third baseman, Mike Corrin. Cousins waited to the absolute last moment until somebody was sure they could get to it, and it was Corin coming in from third to end the inning. Side retired in the fourth. Pilgrims pick up a run, lead it 3-1, headed to the bottom of the fourth here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Bottom of four here, and toughest part of the lineup coming up for the Gulls, facing off against Andrew Mitchell in his fourth inning of work. Each guy in these 3, 4, 5 positions had a homer last night. Scott, who stands in the box now, had 1 RBI. Brote and Harris had 2 apiece. Scott had 2 runs scored, Brote had 2 runs scored, Harris had 1. Heart of the order getting it done last night for the Gulls. They've been a mixed bag here tonight. Scott takes strike 1. Scott and Harris both grounded out to second. Brote sandwiched between them represents the lone run the Gulls have scored after a double. This one struck hard and under the glove of Riley Delgado. And that one's going to be a hit for Scott. Absolutely ripped towards that second base position and just missed there by Delgado for making a really fantastic grab on it. But the leadoff man is aboard here in the fourth.
Yeah, extremely hard hit off the bat of Scott, and I think part of the reason we give it a hit, Gold Glover out there at second. If he can't make the play, then...
And who could? Now stepping in, Brote. He did have that
if it
double.
Works that way.
Yeah.
Brote now just a double shy of tying the leader in the NECBL for doubles.
Swinging through, was looking for it there. That pitch up at the top of the zone from Mitchell. It's 0-1.
If you tuned in for the pregame before tonight's first pitch, you saw Jake Brote and Blake Battenfield doing a very funny interview.
0-1 breaking ball fouled off. Brote a bit fooled by the pitch, just getting a piece of that one from Mitchell. It's got some hard downward action. So Mitchell looking to pick up his second strikeout. He's got Brote 0-2. Very dangerous hitter, though. Misses up and away. Mitchell doing a good job of keeping the pitch count fairly low so far. That was his 31st here in the fourth.
And you know what's been impressive for Brote is a lot of his home runs and doubles have all gone to the opposite field. A big guy up there, but he doesn't pull the ball as much as you'd expect.
Breaking ball just missing from Mitchell. It'll be 2-2 now. And that's one thing that scouts really salivate over is when they see a guy who not only has power, but power to the opposite field. 2-2 pitch here coming from Mitchell. Up high, and he gets Brote to chase that one, climb the ladder with him, and he goes down with the second strikeout of the evening for Mitchell. One down here in the fourth.
Great pitch, and really just a tremendous pitch sequence, that whole at bat. Started him up with the fastball, kept it up, and then came low and away and raised his eye level once again.
Absolutely wonderfully done. Credit there, too, to the catcher, Joey Thomas. He likely had a part in calling that at bat. Very cerebral job there by Mitchell. So he's got 1 out now. Harris 0 for 1 up at the plate with Scott standing over at first. First pitch is in there on the outside half of the plate. 0-1.
It's funny, last night Harris singled his first at bat, and then on the broadcast we said he had to do something more. First pitch home run.
Takes a breaking ball outside. And he did exactly what you mentioned last night. A pitch he thought about swinging at that was well out of the zone, and he smacks his thigh. He is a character. And I love his routine. He steps into the box, brings the toe all the way to the plate, and then backs out the back edge of the box. Runner is going. Thomas hesitated a moment, but still in plenty of time to get Steven Scott.
And Coach
beautiful
Leyva
shoot.
very upset with Trey Harris. That was a designed hit and run there. And Harris knew it as soon as he didn't swing. Leyva just taking a long stare at Trey Harris.
Feel like the loneliest guy in the world out there in that box when you miss a sign like that. Harris drills this one back to the backstop. So it's 2-2 now, 2 gone. Beautiful shoot by Thomas. He hesitated a moment and still was there in plenty of time. And right on the money, put it in the glove of Pena covering, and he barely even had to go down with the tag. Breaking ball just fouled off to stay alive by Harris. He's battling here on Mitchell.
Yeah, you really got to credit Thomas's perfect throw down to second. I mean, last night when Scott was on first after a single, I said not much of a threat to steal a base, and you know he wasn't just trying to steal there.
One of the better defensive catchers in the league. He came from the Cape League where he started the season off. This one is hit on the ground to Pena, fields, and on to first to retire Harris. Just getting there in time. Tough throw. Harris with good speed, but he can't beat it out. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Mitchell. We're headed to the top of the 5th here. Pilgrims with a 3-1 lead over the Gulls on the NECBL Broadcast Network. It's a short night for Jake Cousins. New pitcher out for the Gulls is Paul Campbell. I'll turn it over to Tolan Macara now to give you some of Campbell's numbers.
Yeah, Paul Campbell, a new addition to this Gulls pitching staff. They signed him just a couple days ago. Campbell, a right-handed pitcher out of the University of Clemson, stands at 6'1", 200 pounds out there. He's a sophomore. As far as his numbers go for the Gulls this year, I don't think he's quite appeared in a game yet. No numbers for him so far. So his first appearance for the Gulls on the year, and he'll be much needed down the stretch. We'll get his numbers at Clemson in just a moment. So this year he had a 0-0 record, 11.17 ERA and 12 relief appearances. Allowed 16 hits, walked 5, struck out 9, but only a sophomore there, so still a lot of room for improvement. Really, those freshman, sophomore years are when you start figuring things out. It's a completely different ball game from high school.
Absolutely it is, though he did go to one of the best preparatory schools in the country, the Salisbury School, who in his senior year there was ranked in the top 10 in the country. The reason I know this, we had a former member of my high school was on that same pitching staff with him over there, signed a contract out of high school with the Yankees. So Jake Cousins goes 4 innings pitched, gives up 2 earned runs, 3 runs in total, off of 3 hits and a pair of walks, also struck out 4. Really one of the better evenings you're going to see to get pulled after 4, but it looked like the head was not in it for Cousins.
Yeah, no, I really like this move from the Gulls coaching staff coaching staff here. You know, they're locked in pretty much for a playoff berth, but they want to go for that home field advantage, and Cousins was clearly a little bit too affected by what was going on the field.
Well, Campbell had Joey Thomas, who's into bat now for the Pilgrims at 0-2, and just bounced a fastball in. So it's 1-2 on the Pilgrims catcher, 0 for 1 tonight. Grounded out to the second baseman, back in the second. Pitch up and in. And it's 2-2. Now look for Campbell to try something maybe off speed, low and away.
Well, it looks like Campbell's throwing pretty hard, so.
Comes up over the top of the zone, and after getting out ahead 0-2, he's let the count run full. It'll be Thomas then back to the top of the order for the Pilgrims. And that one misses low and away, and Thomas gets on with a walk. Leadoff man aboard for the 3rd time tonight for the Pilgrims here in the 5th inning.
And if you're Campbell, not the way you want to start out, but you're still all right.
The center fielder, number 22.
There are 2 bad misses in that at-bat, but the rest were relatively close to the strike zone. He's throwing hard.
Yeah, that final pitch there that ends up walking Thomas, I think would have been a really good pitch in a 1-2 situation, but once the count was full, that pitch isn't close enough to draw Thomas in. Now Ryan Brown digs in. He is 0 for 1 tonight, walked and scored in the first. Flew out in the third. Got a man aboard ahead of him in Thomas. First pitch misses away. 5 straight balls now for Campbell. Needs to try to settle down quickly here for the Gulls. Trailing the Pilgrims 3-1 here in the 5th.
In the bottom half of the inning, we'll get updated scores around the league for you.
1-0 pitch. In there for a called strike. Brown left it alone, made Campbell throw him a strike first. He does just that. Thomas, right around the speed you'd expect from a catcher on first. Maybe a little bit better than catcher's average, but not a threat to go in particular. He's going to get checked on, though. Brote not even on the bag there. Standing about 3 or 4 feet away from it. Check from Campbell either way, though. 1-1 pitch now to Brown is lifted. That one's going to stay in the infield. It looks like Kaiser under it. A step back, and he has the catch. First out of the 5th. Brown has appeared just off a couple of these pitches here tonight. He's lifted 2 high fly balls that he's just got under to make his 2 outs tonight. Now Riley Delgado steps in. He's 0 for 2. Ground out and fly out.
Delgado last night hit the ball about as hard as you can, so many times without anything to show for it. I believe it was Delgado.
Delgado and Wagner both had tough nights in terms of placing the ball right at defenders. He's swinging on the first pitch here, a breaking ball from Campbell, and he lifts that one out to the street, to the right of the field.
And a nice job after the leadoff walk by Campbell, settling down, getting Brown. Looks like he took a little bit off his fastball in the at-bat to Brown, just making sure he got it over the plate.
Trying to do the same here against an 0 for 2 Delgado. Delgado hitting .280 on the season. Swinging on that one, lines it just over the head of Fabio and into center field. It'll be first and second for the Pilgrims here with a man down in the 5th.
Just out of the reach of Kaiser there. He made a nice attempt, but was unable to come up with it.
From Providence, Rhode Island.
So now Jeremy Pena is going to step in. Had that RBI ground out back in the first. He struck out in the third. Hitting .244 right now. Looking to try to bring that up. Was not aided by that 0 for 4 night last night. 3 Ks in the last 2 games for Pena. Takes that one outside.
Looks like the first breaking ball I've seen out of the hand of Campbell. A hard slider.
– 1-0 pitch. That one fastball misses away. 2-0 now to Pena. Cole Gordon standing on deck. Had a tough night off of Cousins. Accounted for 2 of Cousins' 4 strikeouts. Happy to see him off of the hill. Looking for better luck. This one hit on the ground. Could be 2. Fielded by Kaiser over to Fabio. Not in time to get Pena at first, though. So with 2 outs, the Pilgrims avoid the double play with some speed out of the box from Pena. And he's aboard at first with that fielder's choice. Delgado cut down at second. Thomas moves up to third. So a hit here for Gordon with 2 outs would score a run.
Well, Taylor made double play ball there for Campbell, and Kaiser, it looks like, just bobbled it a tad at short, which was that split second they needed as they tried to get Pena.
Gordon in the box now.
First pitch here from Campbell is away, 1-0.
And Campbell's been a little wild here, missing his spots. You don't want to miss over the heart of the plate here to Gordon.
No, you do not.
A 2-run deficit's where you want to keep it.
Pena with some pretty good speed on first. Don't be surprised to see him in motion here. Pitch to Gordon. Misses away. It's 2-0. Just like you said it, if you're going to miss to Gordon, that's the best place to miss. Even if you miss too far inside, he can turn on it.
And that outside corner to lefty is not being given by home plate umpire, but the outside corner to righties has been there.
And that same spot inside to lefties has been. And it is right there, right on cue. That one looked to be a bit inside, but Campbell gets the call. And it's 2-1.
I'd come right back inside with that fastball.
Taking off is Pena. Came with the breaking ball. Pena moves up to second, so a pair in scoring position now for Gordon, but he's facing a 2-2 count.
First test for Campbell out there as a Newport Gull. Brought in to take over for Cousins after just 4 innings, and just trying to keep it at a 2-run deficit.
That one hit on the ground, pulled it right over to Fabio, who fields at second and retires Gordon. So a sticky situation, but Campbell works himself out of it. The score hangs at 3-1, headed to the bottom of the 5th here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Pilgrims ahead of the Gulls. Back here for the bottom of the 5th, Andrew Mitchell on the bump for the Pilgrims. Had a 1-2-3 inning in the 4th. Bit of an elongated yet unproductive break for him heading into the 5th as the Pilgrims got a pair on and into scoring position but could not bring them across. He's going to try to find some better luck next inning as the Pilgrims offense, but for now, Mitchell just trying to hold the score where it is. He'll have 6, 7, 8 up in the inning. Leading off, Connor Kaiser, 0 for 1 today. Does have an RBI on the ground out in the second. Got the wave going around the stands here at Newport. A good, sizable sizable crowd here tonight for this Southern Division matchup. Mitchell's first here to Kaiser, swung on and lifted into the protective netting and drops right back down in the batter's box area for the Gulls. Kaiser out of Vanderbilt University, hitting .227 so far this summer. Takes ball 1. One pitch from Mitchell is up and into Kaiser, just missed him. It's 2-1. Two-one pitch here from Mitchell, misses low and away, and it's 3-1. Mitchell in danger of walking the leadoff man. Bit to note, last inning, Charlie Carpenter came on defensively to replace Jake Broat. So look out for him in the order. It would be a long inning if he were to come up. Kaiser goes after the 3-1, lifts it in the infield. Gordon is hovering under it, tracks to his left and makes the catch to retire the first man here in the 5th. That's a big out for Mitchell. Fell behind 3-1, but was still able to get Kaiser on a very weakly hit ball in the infield. And now he'll have Mark Powell to deal with. Powell just 2 for 11 in 4 games against the Pilgrims this season. He has walked 3 times, though. Takes strike 1, a breaking ball. Right about thigh high from Mitchell. Powell's doing the DHing tonight for the Gulls. Didn't see him last night. The lone member of the lineup not in. Hits this one on the ground, foul into the Pilgrims' dugout. He's falling behind 0-2 here. Mitchell looking to pick up just his 3rd strikeout of the ball game. Has had 1 in each of the last 2 innings, though. Deals the 0-2. Breaker left alone. Thought about it. Did Powell, but he checks his swing and pulls it back. It'll be 1-2 now. Pitch, a breaking ball, swung on and missed, and they're going to say that Thomas caught it cleanly. Powell's just going to head back to the dugout. 2 down here in the 5th, 3rd strikeout for Mitchell. Beautiful breaking ball there from the Auburn Tiger, and it really fell off the table, and Powell couldn't do anything with it. So Michael Corrin now coming to the plate. Corrin fouls that one off. He was 0 for 2 with a strikeout last night, 0 for 1 so far tonight. Behind 0-1 here to Mitchell.
He's yet to record a hit for the Gulls since signing just a few days ago.
Mitchell deals that one. Just missing, not quite sure where. It looked like Mitchell kind of stumbled a bit on the mound. So he did stumble a bit on the mound. They called a balk, so the pitch was all for naught. Mitchell laughing out there on the mound. He'll have a 1-1 pitch now to Corrin. That one in there. Good fastball right on the outside black. And it's 1-2. 3 good pitches so far from Mitchell in the at-bat. One of them didn't count, though, so
I thought for a second he
more.
just didn't call it a strike, and I was like, wait a second. That was
I
right
saw
down the
him
middle.
scuffle and then just said, oh, well, it mustn't have been anything. That one in the dirt, swung on and tags the runner. So back-to-back Ks and the 5th from Mitchell. Wonderful inning, back-to-back 1-2-3s. We're headed to the 6th inning here. Pilgrims holding on to a 3-1 lead with some good pitching here from Andrew Mitchell. Back in a moment on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Top 6 here. Pilgrims leading things off with their hottest hitter, Brian Sharp. 2 for 2 with a pair of doubles here, and he'll come in to face Paul Campbell out for his 2nd inning of work.
Well, here's a interesting move here in this game. Charlie Carpenter coming in at first base for Jake Broat. And I saw after last half inning, Coach Leyva talking to Broat. I don't know if he potentially hurt himself on the swing or...
Carpenter was actually out there last inning, and I didn't pick it up. I thought it was somebody different.
Was he?
He was, yep. Yeah, came in defensively last inning. Has not registered an at-bat yet, but...
So is Broat now the DH? Because Broat then...
No, because Powell came up as still as the DH. So I think Broat's just out of the ball game. The wave back in full effect here as a group of fans on the left field side have started it. A bit disappointed with the right field side as they're not joining in. This time it makes it around. It's 1-0. Breaking ball missed over the top to Sharp. That one is swung on and lifted foul on the left side.
Well, it's hard for us up here in the booth with the wave because we got the headsets and everything.
yeah.
In danger of knocking all the computers over.
That one misses up and away. Campbell has not been particularly sharp. 22 pitches so far, 11 strikes, 11 balls. And a lot of his balls he's just clearly not finished off on, missing up and away with the fastball. That one comes with the breaking ball, trying to figure himself back out, and Sharp swings through it. It'll be 2-2 now.
Well, I mean, if anything's looked good, it's been the slider out of the hand of Campbell. The fastball's been a little errant.
See what he comes with here. 2-2 up and away, and Sharp chases it, helps out Campbell there. And he gets a big first out to retire Sharp for the first time this evening. Picks up his first strikeout. 5th overall for Gulls pitching tonight.
Number 27.
So with 1 out, Liam O'Regan will step to the plate, 0 for 1. The strikeout and a walk. Also stole a base in the 4th inning. That one up over the top of the strike zone again. It's 1-0 now.
So the Gulls are going to have to start getting something going here. Mitchell's been tremendous for the Pilgrims. You got to like what you've seen out of him.
3 hits through 5 innings. Really moving along. This one is stung out and into the glove of Harris, I should say. That one was hit hard from O'Regan. Line drive, but right to Harris in left.
A little unlucky there for O'Regan. You have so much space out there in the outfield, and you absolutely tag the ball, but right at him.
Good positioning by Harris, and there are 2 down now in the 6th. Cam Hanley stepping to the box. First pitch in the dirt, 1-0. Campbell has not really been starting anybody off with first pitch strikes, but has yet to come back to bite him. A few base runners in his 1st inning. He's looked a lot more confident here in his 2nd. Breaking ball is in there to even the count to Hanley.
So this is the 6th time these teams have faced this year, folks. The Gulls winning all 5. Pilgrims looking to change that.
One in the dirt, 2-1. And until last night, for the most part, they were fairly tightly contested games. Where really the largest margin of victory outside of last night was 3 runs. And the Gulls were typically breaking it open in the last inning. Of course, 1 walk-off victory here at Cardines. That breaking ball looked a bit high, but it's a called strike by home plate umpire Mike Griffin. It's 2-2 now. Pitch, breaking ball. Hanley just leans into it and takes a half-hearted swing at it, rolls over towards the Gulls dugout. It'll stay at 2-2.
And this has been a recent stretch of games for the Gulls, all in the division. Important games. They went New Bedford, Danbury, Plymouth, Mystic, and New Bedford. So we have a chance to help you guys out in a couple days.
We're hoping that you do. Chance to help ourselves out. Tomorrow night, the Pilgrims will be in New Bedford. That New Bedford team who is trailing the Schooners 8-0 now, so it looks like the Pilgrims will be within a half game when they head out to New Bedford. If they can hold on here, and not a great job there by Hanley. Swings at a breaking ball around his toes. 2nd strikeout of the inning for Campbell, and we are through the top half of the 6th, headed to the bottom half. Pilgrims up 3-1. Gulls coming to the bat, trying to break the code of Andrew Mitchell. Back in a sec on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Bottom 6 here from Cardines. Mitchell continuing to work a pretty good outing. He's retired the last 7 Gulls he's faced. Looking to continue that trend. He's got Travis Young.
And 4 strikeouts for Mitchell up there. All of them coming within the last 3 innings. But he's really looked terrific. He's spotting up. He's getting guys to roll over to pop it up. Really only that ball by Broat that was the only hard hit ball.
First pitch here to Young, swung on, another softly hit ball, deep in the hole. Pena picks it up in time at first. Had to hustle that one a bit, but he's able to make the play. 1 pitch, 1 out, and back-to-back innings for Mitchell.
The 2nd baseman.
So just 55 pitches for Mitchell through 5 1/3, or around that number.
Really working strong here. Averaging about 11 pitch innings. And now he's got top of the order back up, Cole Fabio.
And
takes strike 1 on the outside edge.
Based on the depth of your bullpen right now, you'd expect them to run Mitchell out there as long as he's throwing well.
Absolutely. Fabio had one of the 3 hits off Mitchell in his last at bat, a single. He's behind 0-2 here as he lifts that one foul and out of play.
Better call.
Mitchell on the hill, working quickly, just waiting for Fabio to get back in the box, ready to go here. The 0-2 pitch, breaking ball outside. 1-2.
Same count Fabio singled in last at bat after finding himself down 0-2.
Hits this one hard out to center field, but it looks to be right at Ryan Brown. He makes the catch, puts away Fabio for the second out of the sixth. Mitchell continues to work quickly through this Gulls order. Now 9 straight retired.
The catcher, number 14, Troy Dixon.
My apologies, that's an incorrect stat. I am forgetting that Steven Scott singled and then was caught stealing. So that would make it 7 straight retired, with Dixon stepping into the box here, looking to make it 8. Dixon 0 for 2 tonight. Swinging on the first pitch, deep in the hole, and Delgado can't get to it. He's aboard with a single, with 2 outs here in the 6th inning.
Well, it seems like pretty much every night Troy Dixon's going to get a couple base hits, and last at bat just missed one to left, tagged the ball, and he wastes no time recently. I've noticed that he loves to swing first pitch.
Sometimes, there's the philosophy that that's the best pitch that you're going to see. That first one at bat, especially on a guy like Mitchell, who's really been taking apart this order so far tonight. He's got Steven Scott, who has one of the hits in his last at bat. Swung through that one, though, 0-1. He was erased when Joey Thomas snagged him stealing on what we thought might have been really pretty sure of, was supposed to be a hit and run with Trey Harris in the box. This signal there resulted in Scott being hung out to dry. 1-1 here. As Mitchell misses with a breaking ball. Carpenter on deck looking for his first at bat of the evening in place of Jake Brote.
So for Steven Scott up there, he's second in the NECBL for home runs with 9, second in the NECBL for extra base hits with 20. Having a very good season.
Got a 2-1 count here. Pitch from Mitchell is hit very high, very deep, and gone! A home run from Steven Scott to right has this ball game knotted right back up. It's 3-3. The Gulls bring it back to even on a Steven Scott home run.
Well, stay hot, Steven Scott. And I was about to say it, Steven Scott with a home run could tie the league for RBIs in the NECBL. Or I'm sorry, now he's 1 behind. But 31 RBIs now on the year for Steven Scott and 10 home runs.
Some excellent numbers for the Gulls right fielder. Charlie Carpenter now coming up. And all this with 2 outs. Mitchell worked quickly through Young and Fabio. Some back-to-back hits from Dixon and the long fly ball from Scott have this game at a 3-3 draw right now in the 6th. 0-1 pitch here, misses in the dirt. 1-1 now to Carpenter.
And to be honest with you, Quinn, any other ballpark, that's going to be a fly out. He really didn't get all of it. Popped it up a little bit, but only 298 down the right field line there.
1-1, hit foul by Carpenter. Carpenter, who was 2 for 4 last night. Home run, single, and a walk. Pair of RBIs, pair of runs scored.
For Steven Scott, he's now hitting over 390 the last 10 games. 6 home runs, 14 RBIs over his last 10. That'll get it done.
Absolutely, it will. 1-2 pitch, a breaking ball in there, called. 3rd strike on Carpenter. 5th of the night for Mitchell, but he traded it away to have that pitch to Scott back. A long home run. Well, really one of the shorter home runs you're going to see. Knots this game up. It is 3-3 heading into the 7th here at Cardines Field. Pilgrims and the Gulls locked in a battle on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Back here in the top of the 7th. I am Quinn Kelly, the voice of the Pilgrims. I thank you for letting me take you through the middle innings. I'm going to turn it back over now to the voice of the Gulls, Tolan Vaccaro.
Thank you, Quinn, and we got a new pitcher on the mound for the Gulls. It's going to be Matt Murphy, but before we get to his stats, let's send it over to Megan Window quick to my right for updates of what's going on around the league.
Thanks, Tolan. Looking around the league right now, over at Fitch High School in the top of the 7th, the Mystic Schooners lead 8-0 against the New Bedford Bay Sox. In the top of the 6th at Rogers Park, it's tied right now. Ocean State Waves and Danbury Westerners at 3. At Goodall Park, Upper Valley Nighthawks lead 3-1 in the top of the 7th against the Sanford Mainers. And at Alumni Field in the top of the 7th, the Keene Swamp Bats lead 9-0 against the Valley Blue Sox.
You see Ocean State locked in that battle with Danbury, but Mystic just continues to scorch the ball. I mean, leading the league in pretty much every offensive category is Mystic.
Yeah, they are. They are a fantastic series of bats there, and they have really got it done all season. That's a big help to the Pilgrims. Pilgrims have to feel like with the way Ocean State's trending, the Danbury and Ocean State result is not of great bearing on them, and either way it goes could be looked at positively, but the Pilgrims need to get the job done here first. They are back in a battle here. It's all knotted up, so they really have to get things going again here and find a way to score a run.
So here's Matt Murphy on the mound. Murphy, a right-handed pitcher, stands at 5'11". First pitch to Hecker, fouled back out of play. Hometown Wakefield, Rhode Island, my hometown. Plays his college ball at URI. And for Murphy, his ERA around at that 8.68 ERA, but it was up to 17. His last outing was terrific in just 3 1/3 innings, struck out 8. So we'll look to see those strikeout numbers come back here today. I was talking to him before the game. He said next time out I'm going to strike out 9 in 3 innings, so I like the confidence there. It's quickly 1-2 the count on Hecker. The pitch, swinging a high fly ball to left. Ranging over towards the line is Harris. As he makes the catch, one gone.
Hecker just getting under it all day. 3 fly balls for him. One of them obviously was what he needed, a sacrifice fly to drive in sharp in the second, but he really hasn't been making great contact on the ball.
So one away here in the top half of the 7th. Joey Thomas coming to plate. If you missed it last half inning, Steven Scott with a 2-run home run tied this ball game up at 3 apiece. And it looks like we're going to have a fun one heading into the final 3 innings. The Gulls looking to try to keep pace with Mystic. Murphy out of the windup. First pitch to Thomas. In there for a called strike.
And for Mitchell, that was his 6th home run given up on the season. Took the lead right back from Kevin Saperko.
As that pitch laced right back up the middle by Thomas. And it bounces off the glove of Young. Thomas is going to head to second. He'll be in safely. Just a lackadaisical defensive miscue out there in center as we'll look at the replay here. See Young just, I mean, it took a bad hop, but now it's going to be a single and an error on Travis Young. That's a big play here because Thomas now in scoring position with 1 out.
Absolutely, a huge play. And Thomas, whose average wouldn't really tell you, it came into tonight 129, has been really odd as of late. He's now got 5 hits in the last 3 games for him.
Well, first pitch to Brown, catches the inside corner. An inside corner that's been there for the lefties, not so much for the righties. And Brown wasn't happy with the call. Murphy gets his sign and comes set, checks the runner a couple times. Now the 0-1, slider missing inside. So both Joey Thomas and Chris Corbett, both tremendous defensive catchers. Haven't seen Corbett the last couple times we've played after seeing him pretty much terrorize Eckerd College down when he was at Rollins.
Yeah, you just got an unfortunate bit here. Missed him in the rotation. 3 catchers for the Pilgrims. And you caught Wagner and Thomas back to back.
The 2-1 pitch catches the inside corner, 2-2.
Not a bad pitch to take there from Brown. That was a tough one up and in. Likely wouldn't have been able to do anything with it even if.
A 2-2. Just inside. Yeah, you mentioned it. The slider breaks in on the lefty, up in on the hands. That's nothing but broken bat written all over it.
Right.
A 3-2 pitch, swinging a high fly ball to left. Again, Harris coming on, settles under it, and makes the catch. Two gone.
That's Brown up there just trying to do too much. That was ball 4 at the top of the zone, and he chased it and just flew that one out gently to left, and no problem for Harris out there.
So 2 outs. Riley Delgado at the plate, singled his last time up. He'd be followed by Pena should he find a way to get on. There is the go-ahead run out there at second base. The first pitch taken for a strike by Delgado. The 0-1 on the outside corner, 0-2. Murphy looking for that first strikeout.
We saw last night Delgado showed off the way in which he will battle so hard at the plate with 2 strikes on him. He's going to have to really protect now.
The 0-2 misses away. So for Campbell, who came in for Cousins, he did his job. 2 innings of work, 1 hit, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts in his first appearance for the Gulls, and they've got to like that out of the new signing. The 1-2 pitch, swinging a dribbler. Good defensive hack.
Yeah, I mean, he worked himself into a bit of trouble in the 5th, but very well worked himself out of it and had a very strong 6th inning. So all in all, pretty good outing for Campbell.
Scoreboard reads 12 o'clock here, although that's not the case.
They've been having some issues with it. You made give them the compliment, saying they were always right on it, and they've had to keep refiddling it, and he just jinxed them.
Seems to happen a lot to me up here. The pitch just outside. 3-2 the count now on Delgado. See what Murphy comes in with here as he comes set, gets the sign from Dixon. 3-2 pitch, breaking ball, lined into right field. It's a long run for Scott over there, but he's there to make the catch and retire the side. So Murphy able to get out of a little bit of a jam. As he retires Delgado, we head to the bottom half of the 7th here at Cardines Field, knotted up at 3 apiece on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Welcome back, folks. Bottom half of the 7th. Huge crowd here at Cardines Field. Another one that we expect to be over the 2,000 milestone. Pretty much every game this year has been over the 2,000 number. And it's the Gulls coming up here in the bottom of the 7th. Tied 3-3 against the Pilgrims. Last inning for the Gulls, Stephen Scott with a 2-run home run that tied the game up.
Yeah, really the first marring of Mitchell's outing. He'd been so successful until that point, and then just gives up the long fly ball, and just like that, the game's knotted up, and he needs to be back on his game immediately here in the 7th.
Leading off the 7th inning for the Newport Gulls, the left fielder, number 5, Trey Harris.
First pitch to Harris here in the bottom half of the 7th. Misses away, 1-0. Like you said, Mitchell's looked great out there on the mound. Apart from that home run by Scott, really the only hiccup. That pitch to Harris misses low and bounces up. Looked like into the chin throat area of Thomas. May have knocked the wind out of him there.
Looks like he's okay, just walking it off here. Yeah, reaching for that throat. Such a tough position at this level. You get just so beat up.
That's for sure. I've seen Troy Dixon, Ben Brazil when he was here, Charlie Carpenter, they all just get beat up behind the plate, taking foul ball after foul ball. Plus, these guys are all pumping 90s. Eventually, your hand's going to take a beating. If you catch it wrong off the thumb or... As Harris drills this one to right field, ranging over Brown, who makes the catch in the gap. 4 out, number 1.
Showing off the speed and the range out there in center field. A wonderful job to get to that sinking liner from Harris.
So Connor Kaiser now at the plate. Flew out his last time up in the 4th inning. Or in the 5th inning, I'm sorry. Popped out to first base. First pitch from Mitchell. Fouled back out of play. Being F8 on the play for Harris, last batter. If you're scoring at home, and an 0-1 count now on Kaiser. The 0-1 pitch. Swinging a ground ball left side in the hole for Pena. It's going to be a tough play on the backhand. Throws over to first and is going to be not in time as the throw pulled Gordon off the bag. There'll be a hit there for Kaiser as he just got it in the hole enough. It was almost a terrific play from Pena.
Yeah, Pena made a great sliding stop, but at the same time slowing himself down immediately and getting right back up, and just needed a little bit of a better throw there. I mean, you got such a big body over at first with Cole Gordon standing at 6'5", but just couldn't put it on the mark so that he could stay on the base.
And so here's Mark Powell at the plate for the Gulls, who has grounded out to short and struck out tonight, and he's been really struggling. Over the last 6 games he's appeared in, .059 average for him out there, just 1 hit and 17 at-bats. It just looks like he hasn't really been seeing the ball well. A lot of ground balls, nothing too hard hit.
He's got a ground ball and a strikeout here tonight, so right along with the trend. Brief meeting at the mound. Pitching coach Joe Flynn talking to Andrew Mitchell. Just looking for another ground out here from Powell. See if he can't turn 2.
First pitch. Swinging a slow dribbler back towards the second baseman Delgado, who's up with it and throws over in time. 1 gone, and just a half swing there from Powell. He's really struggling up there at the plate.
Yeah, I mean, it's not too often you see a check swing like that and the ball goes anywhere but foul, but that one right back into the field of play. Not sure exactly what the holdup was for him, but it does move the runner up. Too slow to get a double play for the Pilgrims. 2 down in the inning.
That'll bring up Mike Corrin, who's looking for his first hit. He swings through the breaking ball. 0-1 the count. Kaiser did advance the second on the play, so he's the go-ahead run out there. A base hit could score him. Kaiser does have a little bit of speed. The 0-1 in the dirt, good block by Thomas behind the plate. I gotta say, I'm excited for some playoff baseball here. We've been waiting all season. Should be a fun time as Corrin takes that pitch outside. Down at Eckerd, there's never any playoffs in the Sunshine State Conference, so unless you made the national championship then or national tournament, you weren't really going to play postseason ball. And Eckerd was never really in it down the stretch, so I never really got that atmosphere of that, you know, broadcasting the postseason game. So I'm excited for it here this year, hopefully. I don't see how we wouldn't be able to make it. See. 2-1 pitch misses up to Corrin, 3-1 the count. And this is potentially a historic game for the Gulls as well. They've never lost more than 17 games, so if they lost, that would be the only season they've ever lost 18, but if they won, then it puts them one step closer to reaching that marker of 25 wins in a season, which they've never won less than 25 in a season. So
certainly a historically strong ball club, and that looks like it's going to be the evening for Andrew Mitchell. Coach Greg Zackerson out to make the change, and I believe Cole Craigle coming in from the bullpen.
Mitchell doesn't seem too happy out there.
No, well, this is going to finish out, unless the Pilgrims make the playoffs, this would be his final appearance, and I'm sure not getting through that 7th, he leaves feeling like he's got a little bit of unfinished business out there in his NECBL career.
Still a very good outing for him, although he will be responsible for the runners on base. 6 2/3 innings of work for Mitchell, 6 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. So he put this ball club in a position where they can go ahead and try to win this game. So who is it out there on the mound again?
On the mound for the Pilgrims now is Cole Craigle. Craigle, one of the best ERAs on the team. He's got a 2.12 through 10 games. He's pitched 17 innings, given up just 11 hits, 13 walks, though they've been an issue for him, outnumbering his 12 strikeouts. Though they haven't come back to bite him yet, he's only given up 4 earned runs. An opponent's hitting just 208 off of him here. Needs to come out here and get a quick out, though.
Yeah, those walks seem a little bit concerning out there. 13 walks on the year for Craigle. And he'll face Travis Young here, who's 0 for 2 tonight.
Yeah, with those walks, they really drive up his whip. He's got a whip around 135 in that area. But he's been absolutely stellar as of late. His last few performances have been very, very strong. The walks have been down. The runs have not come in. And he's trying to continue it here. Get out of the 7th, and then we'll see how far he goes from there. But Pilgrims know the importance of this game and are tossing what looks to be right now the best arm out of their bullpen.
And then one of only a few guys.
Yeah, I mean, best of 4 right now, but still very strong. I mean, a 2.12 ERA is certainly a very good ERA to have here in the NECBL through the innings that he's pitched. And, you know, just because he's the best of a small crop, it's no knock on him. He's been very strong for the Pilgrims.
So 8:35 here at Cardines, and last night it was a 12-4 ball game, but we finished up there around 9 o'clock, so somehow a quick game as well.
Elongated pregame festivities are going to make sure that we're not out of here too soon.
And there goes the runner Kaiser from short. The throw over to third is going to be not in time. A double, or not a double steal, but a stolen base for Connor Kaiser as he steals third, and that's a risky move there.
Absolutely a risky move, but Kaiser saw that he had a fantastic jump on Craigle, who really, when you come into a ball game entering the first pitch, that's probably the last thing you're thinking is, let me make sure I hold on the runner at second, going on one of the better arms in the league over to third.
And Young drills that one into left field. That's going to fall for a base hit. Coming in to score is Kaiser, and the Gulls take a 4-3 lead.
That stolen base proves huge for Kaiser. That's the only reason he's able to get in there. Would have been held up at third almost undoubtedly on that hit if he had not already been there.
A huge stolen base for Kaiser, and you've got to feel good for Travis Young over there at first with the RBI single. He's been struggling so hard of late. Snaps out of it there in a big way. And now Cole Fabio coming up to the plate. The chance to add one more. The pitch is outside. That gets away from the catcher, Thomas. Advancing to third is Corin, and right behind him is Young now at second. A wild pitch there. So now second and third, 2 outs. Cole Fabio at the plate. The Gulls have already pushed one across in this inning. They lead 4-3. A base hit here could open it up. Heading into the top of the 8th. As Craigle comes set, a pitch to Fabio. Swinging a drive to left field. It's falling quickly, but it'll hang up enough for Hecker, who makes the catch to retire the side. But the Gulls do get one run back here on the RBI single from Travis. As they strand two, we head to the top of the 8th here at Cardines Field. It's the Gulls ahead of the Pilgrims for the first time tonight by a score of 4-3 on the NECBL broadcast. Welcome back, folks. Top half of the 8th inning set to get underway here. As in the last half, the Gulls took the lead for the first time in this ball game. They lead now 4-3 in the 8th over the Pilgrims. It's been a tightly contested ball game all day here at Cardines Field, and Matt Murphy remains on the hill trying to hold on to this one-run, or maintain this one-run lead for the Gulls. First pitch in there for a strike with the fastball to Pena. So Jeremy Pena on the day is 0 for 3. He fouls that back out. He's grounded out to shortstop twice. He's also struck out, but he did get an RBI in the first on the ground out. At least something to show for the day. The 0-2 pitch from Murphy, fastball high.
And the Pilgrims had the runner in scoring position at second with one out last inning. Would have been the go-ahead run. They can't do anything with him. Come back and give away the lead in the next inning.
The 1-2 on the outside corner for a called strike 3. Pena can do nothing but watch as that pitch spotted up perfectly. Out number 1 here in the 8th. Sorry to cut you off.
No. I mean, you gotta. In any case, what I was to say was that they have to come right back out here and punch back and get right back into it, and very passively going down looking at strike 3 exactly the opposite way of how you want to do that.
Well, here's Gordon, who can put him right back in it with one swing if it's going to be anyone in this lineup for the Pilgrims. But he whiffs at that pitch. 0-1. The 0-1. Just low. 1-1.
He has had a tough day, though. 0 for 3 with a pair of Ks. Just trying to put it all out of mind with the big AB here.
1-1 pitch, swing and a miss. Good off speed from Murphy. Came right back inside with the breaking ball. And Gordon was just out in front of it. So 1-2 the count. Murphy looking for a second K of the inning. A 1-2 pitch is outside. A pitch on the inside corner, another called strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for Murphy, both looking in the heart of the order. And now 2 outs for Brian Sharp.
I mean, quite frankly, for the Pilgrims, you can't start the inning off any worse. You just surrender the lead and you go up there and look at a pair of strike 3s, and just like that, totally different feel to it. And you know you're going to be staring down Blake Cairns in the 9.
Potentially. So the other night against Danbury, they brought him on in about the 5th or 6th and had him go 3 1/3 innings. So depends on how willing they are to throw him back out there, but
they are expecting it. In any case, they know that the back end of the bullpen for the Gulls is certainly pretty sure.
And they've had to bring in a lot of guys going out with injuries, but they've done a good job filling those roles. The official attendance tonight here at Cardines Field, 2,775. Now that pitch drilled to left, falling quickly. Fair ball. It looks fair. It's going to be a ground rule double. Or no, it is a foul ball. See if we can get a replay of where that landed. Just curve foul. I thought it was fair.
didn't really.
It was a
show
foul
the
ball.
in.
So a 2-2 count. The fans getting into it here at Cardine. Still a lot of them sticking around. Murphy with a chance to strike out the side here in the 8th. Right after the goals gave him the lead. He's out of the windup. The 2-2. Swinging a foul back. On to America's Cup. The count remains 2-2.
Better call.
Sharp just missed a double.
Would have been his 3rd of the night.
Wow.
Scored 2 of the Pilgrims' 3.
A 2-2, inside and low. Tried to come back inside with that slider, just missed this time. So a full count here on Brian Sharp. Slow clap. Going through the stands. Murphy gets his sign. And the 3-2 pitch. Breaking ball hit in the air to deep right field. Ranging back on it is Scott. And that ball is off the fence. Scott fields it, throws it into second. It's going to be the 3rd double of the game for Sharp. And that ball just died in the air.
And how about Sharp for the 2nd time tonight just missing a home run ball? I mean, the first one was to dead center and was maybe a foot away from getting out. That one not quite as close, but still off of that top portion of the wall. It's just a long double for him, and that certainly doesn't have the same feel with 2 outs. Obviously that home run would.
But, I mean, still a 3rd double of the game for him.
A heck of
You
a
can't
game.
complain.
No, cannot complain for Sharp, but you got to feel like he's robbed a little bit. It's been tough for him.
And Coach Leyva coming out now to talk to Murphy. No pitching coach Daryl Morehart here, who's out in the bullpen. I wonder if this is just a routine chat or if we're going to have a pitching change. You mentioned Blake Cairns. We'll see if there's anyone warming in the pen. Murphy will stay out there on the mound. It is Cairns warming in the pen, so if needed, he could potentially come on for the 4-out save. Cairns, all in the year, I mean, has been almost unhittable. A .55 ERA, gave up his first run of the year his last time out, but he also threw 3 innings, which he's not used to. First pitch to O'Regan, misses away. 1-0 the count. You'd love to see Murphy get through the 8th here unscathed. Just send it out to Cairns. Chance to give the Gulls a 24th win of the season. He shoots the outside corner there.
O'Regan really had his best night of the season last night, going 2 for 3 with a double and a run and a walk, reaching base 3 times. Really needs to come up big here for the Pilgrims.
The 1-1, same spot, just misses away.
Haven't quite been able to figure out that outside portion of the zone yet tonight.
It's a good spot, though.
It's a good spot.
If you're going to miss. And Murphy's fastball's looked at it like it's had late life in this at-bat. A little extra pop as he comes set. 2-1 pitch. Again, missing away. That one was definitely outside. 3-1 the count on O'Regan. Potentially this could be the last batter for Murphy if he walks him. Murphy comes set. A 3-1 pitch on the outside corner. Same pitch we saw at 2-1. It's called a ball, so a full count here on O'Regan. Murphy toes the rubber. Gazes in, now comes set. Payoff pitch. Swinging a foul back. Nice job by O'Regan staying with it. That was a high fastball.
Better call.
So again, a 3-2 count.
Newport Gulls.
We're in the top of the 8th. The Gulls lead the Pilgrims 4-3, but the tying run stands at second in Sharp. Again, the 3-2, just outside. Murphy with a walk there to O'Regan.
I mean, he kept going to the same spot over and over again, and half the time it was in, half the time it wasn't, so you can't fault him for staying there. I mean, if you're going to get that call, it's nearly unhittable for a batter off the outside edge.
I think it could have gone either way. He was either getting rung up or sent to first. Unfortunately for Murphy, it's the walk, and so a double and a walk after back-to-back Ks to start the inning. And now he's going to be tasked with getting Cam Hanley, who's 1 for 3 today. And the pitch inside nearly hit him. Dixon struggles to find it, but Sharp out there was unable to see and stays at second. So 1-0 the count. Firehouse right behind us if you're hearing the sirens. A 1-0 pitch, swinging a drive to deep left field. Ranging back on it is Harris, and that's going to be up against the wall. Coming in to score is Sharp. Right behind him being waved in is O'Regan. The throw is going to be not in time. It's a 2 RBI double for Cam Hanley, and the Pilgrims take a 5-4 lead.
Cam Hanley just getting it done. And, just a little extra pumped up about that. I've had the pleasure of playing with Cam, watching Cam play, grew up with him, and a huge spot for him here. He was really hot when he joined the team early this year. Came in from the Chatham Anglers mid-season and started off really hot, but he's been kind of missing out on a few big opportunities and comes up huge for the Pilgrims here to give him back the lead in the 8th.
And all of this coming with 2 outs, a double, a walk, and then a double. And Murphy, who looked great to start the inning, has been tagged for 2 runs and has relinquished the lead. And now, I mentioned if O'Regan had walked, I thought potentially they'd bring in Cairns, and maybe they should have.
Yeah, I mean, he has dominated the Pilgrims in the way that he's dominated really everybody he's faced this season. So I was a little bit surprised to see that Leyva was willing to go out for the visit, but then not take the ball from Murphy.
And that pitch inside hit Hecker as he heads down to first, and Murphy just unraveling here with 2 outs in the 8th.
Yeah, that one just not anywhere close. That hit in the back of the thigh, and that looks like it's going to be the evening for him. I mean, it has to be. Leyva coming out for his second visit, so he has to take him out either way.
And just 2 batters too late, here comes the pitching change. As Blake Cairns finishes his warm-up tosses in the pen, and now jogs out to toe the rubber. We'll take a quick break as he takes his warm-up tosses on the mound. When we come back, we'll have his stats for you and the rest of the top half of the 8th inning. So Blake Cairns out there on the mound now for the Gulls here in the top of the 8th, who came into the inning with a 4-3 lead, have given it up. They now trail the Pilgrims 5-4.
Pinch runner in for the Pilgrims at second. Michael Dorenzi comes on to run for Cam Hanley. Dorenzi, of course, a couple weeks ago in this very ballpark, won the 60-yard dash during All-Star Weekend. So the quote-unquote fastest man in the NECBL is looking to come around if Thomas can find a way to get a hit off Cairns, which is certainly a pretty tall task.
He must have run that very, very fast.
Yeah, what'd you say it was 6'3" for your man? I want to say it was like 6'2" from Dorenzi, maybe?
I mean, that's blazing speed.
Well, Hanley.
So here's Blake Cairns, right-handed pitcher. Plays his college ball at University of Georgia. And for him on the year, a .55 ERA. He's 1-0. Has appeared in 13 games, all in relief, 5 saves, and 16 innings of work. Just 1 run, 7 walks, and 21 strikeouts for him. So, tremendous numbers for him out there.
Absolutely tremendous numbers.
And that brings up Joey Thomas now with a chance to add an insurance run. Gulls pitching on the year, 377 strikeouts. That's almost 50 more than any other ball club in the NECBL. And there goes the runner, Dorenzi to third. Throw down is going to be looked in time. The umpire saying he came off the bag, but is what that signal was. But I'm not quite sure that was the right motion there as we see the replay here.
I think it was just a weird safe call. He's been coming like up high.
He was definitely out.
Yeah, he thought that the throw was just too high and Dorenzi got under it, but I agree. I think the tag was on the bag in plenty of time.
And it was a double steal there, so second and third now. 1-0 the count. And the pitch just low below the knees to Thomas.
Well, it's the same exact thing that the Gulls did to the Pilgrims when Craigle first came out. Kaiser stealing third and eventually being able to come in. So give them a little bit of taste of their own medicine right back.
A 2-0 pitch. Swing and blew the fastball right by him upstairs. Some heat on that one from Cairns. 2-1 the count. So Michael Dorenzi standing at third. Damon Hecker at second. Dorenzi wasted no time showing off that speed. And the 2-1 pitch on the inside corner. 2-2 now the count to Thomas. Cairns finding the plate with back-to-back pitches.
It's all evening out because that one I thought if anything was inside, but the 1-0 was so clearly in the zone and called the ball. Just some serious inconsistency this evening.
Trust me, I agree with you. As Cairns comes set, looking to end the inning, the 2-2 pitch is low, 3-2. Dixon gives Cairns a little settle down motion. It's a full count here on Joey Thomas. First base is open, but it'll be the top of the order next in Ryan Brown. As Cairns gets the sign from Dixon, comes set. A payoff pitch, swinging a foul back. Cairns out there the other day hit 94 on the radar guns. So he can get up there, but he sits usually around 91, 92.
Not a bad place to sit.
No. Again, the 3-2 pitch, swinging a foul back. Dixon just unable to hold on to the foul tip. Although we're seeing 91, 92 here, and it's extremely fast. And then you think of the major leagues, and it's pretty much, if you're throwing 91, 92, it's going to be hard to get out there.
Yeah, that's back-end starter, likely not even in the bullpen unless you got some unreal off-speed stuff.
As Cairn comes set, again we'll have the 3-2 pitch on the way to Thomas, and it's up and in, ball 4. So after back-to-back batters struck out looking to start the top half of the 8th here, it's gone double, walk, double, hit by pitch, walk, all with 2 outs.
Well, it's the same way the Gulls did their scoring back in the 6th. Mitchell got the first 2 outs, and the 2-run homer after back-to-back hits. Not the case last inning, though the run did come in with 2 outs. So really, it's been both teams having a flair for theatrics here late in this ball game.
And if you're Cairns, you've got to stop the bleeding right here. First pitch in there for a strike on Brown. 1 run, that's doable for the Gulls. They still got 2 more times up at bat, but a base hit here could score 2. Cairns comes set, a pitch, swinging a drive to right field. Should stay up for Scott. It does, as he's there to make the catch and retire the side. So Cairns comes on and is able to hold everyone on base, but the Pilgrims do get 1 run on 2 hits. They strand 3. We head to the bottom of the 8th here at Cardines Field. It's the Pilgrims 5, the Gulls 4 on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Well, we're back here with the bottom half of the 8th set to get under the way. The Gulls, who relinquished the lead in the top half of the inning with 2 outs. The Plymouth was able to score 2. They lead now 5-4. Although it's going to be a tough task for him here trying to hold on to that 1-run lead. It's going to be Troy Dixon coming to the plate, followed by Steven Scott, and then Charlie Carpenter. So it's part of the order here.
The order that did the damage in the 6th and made this one a ball game. Dixon and Scott with back-to-back hits in their last at-bats. Brought it to even at 3. So Craigle's going to have to be very careful here with Dixon and Scott. And really, Carpenter is no slouch himself. Tough inning ahead.
First pitch misses away to Dixon. He loves to swing at the first pitch. At that time, it was just too far out of the strike zone. So 1-0 the count. The pitch inside, 2-0 to Dixon. See what Dixon can do here. A 2-0 pitch fouled back out of play. Dixon does have some power on the year. 2 home runs, 16 RBIs, but he's got 12 doubles. Good for second on the team behind just Jake Broat. A 2-1 pitch, fouled back.
Well, that's an out.
Caught out there by Craigle as it bounced right off the metal fencing right back to him. Kind of a funny play there. I've never seen that before.
No, that one hit directly and really very small window you could possibly hit there. Do something new at a ballpark every day.
True, especially here at Cardines. You never know what bounce is going to happen. The 2-2, swinging a blooper into shallow center field, falling quickly. Another base hit for Troy Dixon, this time a leadoff single. And Dixon continues to see the ball well. His second hit of the game.
Yeah, I mean, he struggled in his first 2 at-bats, but has really come on here as the game has started to move into the later innings, and that's exactly how they needed to start this inning.
And now Steven Scott at the plate, who's singled and homered his last time up, a 2-run home run to right field. So be careful, Craigle. Scott does have a 2-homer game this year. He takes the first pitch outside.
Homer in back-to-back days now against the Pilgrims, so certainly not somebody to take lightly here.
I'd almost just walk him here. A 1-0, taken outside 2-0, but it looks like they're keeping the ball on the outer half of the plate, at least trying to. So bottom of the 8th here, no one out, a runner on first. The Pilgrims lead the goals 5-4. Craigle comes set, the pitch to Scott. Inside and low, 3-0 the count on Steven Scott. And it's a beautiful night for baseball here. Last time out against Danbury, we were worried about a thunderstorm. Not the case here tonight. A 3-1 outside, ball 4. A 3-0, I'm sorry. So a 4-pitch walk for Steven Scott. A single and a walk to start off the 8th for the Gulls. And now Charlie Carpenter comes to the plate with a chance to tie it up.
Well, I mean, not much more you can say than Craigle needs to just buckle down right here and right now. Needs an out left at the plate, maybe a fly ball in the inning, but outside of a sharp ground ball to third that Sharp can field and step on the bag, you know, even best case scenario, really, you're grabbing a pair of outs but having a guy move up to third. So real dangerous situation here for Craigle. He's got to find a way out of it if the Pilgrims want to take this one.
And Carpenter squaring around to bunt. He bunts out right back off his face. And he appears to be okay, but that's a little scary there.
Jeez. That looked awful at first sight, but Carpenter just wore it like a champ.
And that brought me right back to Little League. When my brother's all-star team was playing, one of the best players on their team squared around to bunt. And that was before they made him wear the face mask.
Right.
Took it straight to the eye, shattered all the bones in his upper face. The next day, he came to watch the team play, just completely swollen over, and that's why they started the face mask. I'm glad nothing happened there. Although it's a big bunt situation, and Carpenter bunts it foul. He's unable to get it down. It's been the story of the season for the Gulls. Every sacrifice bunt situation, they just can't get it done.
Craigle benefits from it here, and now he's got Carpenter 0-2 exactly where he wanted him. Just has to find something in the arsenal to put him away with here.
And I'd almost say you give him a third attempt here. Nobody out. If you get second and third, that's huge. Although Carpenter, a big bat up there. The 0-2 pitch is outside. Good eye. You know, it's so frustrating sometimes. I feel like we never practice bunts anymore or work on them.
Yeah. Do you guys still start BP with everybody that gets in there and bunts?
And on the outside corner for a called strike 3, and Charlie Carpenter has some words for the home plate umpire, Mike Griffin.
That is by far the most I've seen a player in this league get up in the umpire's face this season. He went right behind Thomas and said something very directly to Mike Griffin.
And it was another borderline call, but I think he's more frustrated with himself there. He couldn't get the bunt down and then goes down looking. Exactly what you couldn't have in that situation. No one out, runners at second and third. You got to at least advance the runners. And so here's Trey Harris now at the plate.
And not to get lost in it, credit to Craigle. Beautiful pitch there to get him.
Absolutely, looks like a slider. First pitch to Harris, right down the middle. And Connor Kaiser waiting on deck. It's a big spot here for Trey Harris. The pitch, swinging a drive to deep center field. Ranging back on it is Brown. He's at the track and it's off the fence. Being waved around from third is Dixon. He's going to come in to score. It's an RBI single there for Harris, and the Gulls tie the game. Trey Harris comes through again, and he's fired up at first.
Just a mistake there from Craigle. Have him 0-1. You leave something right over the heart. Harris is going to take advantage of that 10 times out of 10.
And that ball went a long way, but these big fences at Cardines, again, keeping it in play. And for Harris, he was 0 for 3. Snaps that in a big way, tying up the game, and now first and third, just one out. Looks like we're going to have a pitching change here. That'll be the end of the day for Craigle.
Yeah, and it looks like Jake Wyrick coming on.
What can you tell us about Wyrick?
I'll look over to Wyrick's stats. Got a 5.06 ERA, 1-2 record. He's appeared in 9 games. He was a starter at the beginning of the season, bumped out of the rotation. He's pitched 21 1/3 innings, given up 17 hits and 18 walks. Struck out 25, so definitely a K pitcher, but kind of balances out and eliminates the venom of that when you giving up 18 walks and so few innings.
The double play still is an option here for Wyrick, as it's now first and third, just one out, and a big, big chance coming up here for Connor Kaiser. We'll take a quick break as Wyrick finishes his warm-up tosses. When we come back, we'll have Connor Kaiser up at bat on the NACBL Broadcast Network. Welcome back, folks. It's the bottom half of the 8th inning here. After giving up the lead in the top half of the inning, the Gulls get it, at least tie it. It's now an even game at 5 apiece, and Connor Kaiser at the plate with runners on first and third, just one out, and a chance to give the Gulls a lead heading into the 9th, and Cairns hopefully with the opportunity to come back out and close it out for his 6th save of the year. So here's Wyrick on the mound now. He takes over for Craigle. And the first pitch to Connor Kaiser is fastball up. That fastball had some life, a lot more life than I saw when he was warming up. Wyrick, a lefty out there on the mound. A 1-0 pitch. Again, up around the letters. 2-0 the count on Kaiser. It'll be Powell on deck, and then Mike Corrin. Both are 0 for 3 tonight. Or Corrin 0 for 2 with the walk, I'm sorry. 2-0 on the way to Kaiser. Swinging a ground ball back up the middle. This could be 2. Pena on to second for 1. On to first. In time, double play. So Wyrick comes on and gets exactly what the Pilgrims needed, a double play to end the inning, but the Gulls tie it up here in the bottom half of the 8th. We head to the 9th. Knotted up at 5 apiece here on the NACBL Broadcast Network. So an incredibly back and forth ball game here at Cardines Field as we head to the 9th. Blake Cairns out on the mound for the Gulls. It's knotted up at 5 apiece, and the Gulls had first and third. 1 out in the bottom of the 8th, and Connor Kaiser grounded into the double play to end the inning. If you're the Pilgrims, exactly what you need. If you're the Gulls, the last thing you wanted there.
Absolutely, and the Pilgrims, I mean, right back in a position where they need to come out firing again. They did it last inning when they needed to after starting off so poorly with the back-to-back strikeouts looking, but it's really the same part of the order now, just moved up one with Delgado leading things off, and it's the part of the order that you want up there. It's the part of the order that's supposed to get it done. Gordon and Pena have both struggled a bit today, but always time to turn it around here in the 9th.
Well, they'll have to get it done against Blake Cairn, who came in for 1 out. And that pitch ripped just foul down the third base line. Whew.
That one very close for Delgado. If that stays in, that's extra bases, no doubt.
So 0-1 the count here on Delgado. He was thinking first pitch fastball. He got it and just missed. The 0-1. Breaking ball, fouled back out of play. And a good pitch there from Cairns. He got him off balance.
Yeah, it looks like Delgado is ready for what's coming, but he's just not able to make the adjustments and get it in play, and now Cairns has him right where he wants him.
The 0-2, swinging a high pop-up towards shallow left field. Ranging over on it is Harris, and he's there to make the catch. 1 gone. And a good pitch by Cairns there with the fastball. He got it up just enough. In 0-2 count, you got to protect, and couldn't do much but pop it up there. So here's Pena, who's had a rough day at the plate. 0 for 4, 2 groundouts and 2 strikeouts. First pitch to Pena, fouled back towards us.
I like what the Pilgrims are doing right now. They're going up there swinging against Cairns. With a pitcher like this, sometimes the best pitch you're going to get is the very first one, when you can more often than not expect the fastball to come over.
The 0-1. Slow dribbler left side. Again, a foul ball down the third base line. And 0-2 the count on Pena.
They've made contact with every pitch he's thrown so far this inning. He's just got really good stuff, and they're not able to put it where they need to.
The 0-2. Slider outside. I like that pitch there. See if Pena would chase. Cairns is nothing but business when he's out there on the mound. He likes to work quickly. No nonsense. Again, the 1-2 pitch swung on and missed. He struck him out. Cairns blows the fastball right by Pena. 2 gone here in the 9th.
Yeah, tough day for Pena. He goes 0 for 4 last night and gets moved up in the order to 3-hole, maybe changing scenery, more protection for him, and you get something better out of him. But an 0 for 5 night, obviously he does have a key RBI, as everyone has proved crucial in this tie ball game, but a pretty unsuccessful night with 3 Ks.
So here's Gordon, who's unable to swing first pitch because it was about at the eye level. He could have swung, but most likely going to come up empty on it. The 1-0. Swinging a drive to deep right field. Ranging back on it is Scott, and it's out of here. Cole Gordon puts the Pilgrims on top here in the 9th with a solo home run, and they now lead 6-5 over the Gulls.
I believe we mentioned something about a flair for theatrics last inning. They wait until 2 outs again, and that's the thing about Cole Gordon. He's 0 for 4 coming into this at-bat. 3 strikeouts, 2 of them looking, but it takes 1 pitch, and he gets it done there against Cairns. A line shot that just gets out of here. Really narrowly clears the fence, but clears it enough, gets it over, and it's a lead now for the Pilgrims.
And that's just kind of a mental lapse between Dixon and Cairns out there. You mentioned they were swinging at the fastball. They know that he's going to come with it, but to a guy like Gordon, you at least got to change speeds.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Gordon got that pitch. After Cairns missed so badly with the first, maybe he felt he put him in that position, but...
And now this pitch hit deep to left. Ranging over on is Harris, who's there to make the catch. It's only the 2nd run given up this whole season for Blake Cairns on the home run by Cole Gordon, but that's the Pilgrims going ahead again been so back and forth. We head to the bottom of the ninth. It's the Pilgrims 6 and the Gulls 5 here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Well, one final opportunity coming for the Newport Gulls here as we head into the bottom of the ninth. It's been back and forth all game. And really just an absolute shot off the bat of Cole Gordon in the top half of the inning.
Absolutely, that one. He just took a fastball from Cairns, and that's the one thing. You know, if you have that kind of speed and you can't locate the pitch, a guy with the power of Gordon, he's going to take that fastball and take you a long way, and he did that there. It took him deep and the right part of the order this inning for the Pilgrims. I mean, this is set up perfectly for Wyrick. Needs to get out of this inning, get the Pilgrims a win. The game went final for New Bedford. They lost, so the Pilgrims can move within a half game here if Wyrick can just find a way to get 3 outs without surrendering a run.
Yeah, and Powell so far tonight 0 for 3. That pitch nearly hit him inside, and I'm a little surprised not to see Chatfield either up now or in the on-deck circle to potentially pinch hit.
He was here warming, so I guess if
I
anything,
think he
it would be
wants
for Young.
to. I think he was trying to give the signal, but Young's got his helmet on, and
well,
Chatfield put the batting gloves on, but doesn't appear in the circle. So 1-1 the count here on Powell. It's the Gulls' last chance, but they've been scoring pretty much every inning of late as Powell fouls that back out of play. Another check swing.
I mean, yeah, if you would bring Chatfield in, you really would make the case that it couldn't be for Travis Young. It would have to be for either Corn or Powell, just because Young has that big RBI and he's the only one of the 3 with a hit tonight.
Absolutely. It's a 2-1 pitch to Powell. Again, grounded towards Pena at short, who's up with it and throws on to first a little high in time. 1 gone, so third time this game that Mark Powell has grounded out. He's just been unable to lift the ball in the air at all of late.
That's a good first out for Wyrick. Gets it right where he needs it. Doesn't let a man reach. Now he's just got to go after Corrin. Tough night for Corrin, too.
First pitch to Corrin. Swung on a miss. Blew the fastball by him. 0-1. So 1 out here, bottom of the ninth. The Gulls had a chance to take back the lead in the 8th, grounded into a double play. Corrin fouls that back in the screen and then gave it up in the 9th. It's Blake Cairns who allowed only a 2nd run of the season. And now they're down to their final 2 outs, an 0-2 count here on Corrin. Wyrick out of the windup, the 0-2 pitch on the way. Fastball high. So again, a little surprised not to see Chatfield pinch hit. Chatfield with the power potential to tie this game with 1 swing of the bat. Pitch again high to Corrin. Corrin worked a walk his last time up. They say a walk's as good of a hit as a hit in this situation. It absolutely is. You just need base runners here.
Absolutely you do, and that's why Wyrick, who had him 0-2, needs to just find the zone.
Corrin stays alive as he fouls off the fastball, 2-2. Travis Young waits on deck, who's 1 for 3 today with an RBI single. Wyrick gets his sign, again out of the windup, the 2-2. Swing and a miss. He got him on the foul tip. Back into the catcher glove, that's Thomas. 2 gone here in the 9th.
Wyrick has, been excellent so far. He's gotten 4 outs to the 3 batters he's faced. Got the huge double play to keep him in this and end the 8th. And he got in the first 2 here in the 9th. But it's still not over till it's over. You've got Young here, who had a hit in a big situation in the last inning, or in the last at bat. Wyrick has to just buckle down, continue to keep it up.
First pitch to Young misses outside, and really has looked terrific so far. He's still got 1 more out to get, though, here in the 9th, and what is a very big game for the Pilgrims. They need to win here tonight. A pitch inside to Young. 2-0 the count.
And he doesn't want to let it get back to the top. He does not. I mean, we saw what happened with Gordon, a guy who was struggling at the plate. You look back up, Fabio's just 1 for 4, but he's a guy who can get a hit at any point.
And that pitch misses low, 3-0. Now count on Young, and you got to expect him to have the take sign here. The top of the order coming up.
Past Fabio. If you can't get Fabio, you're right in the lines down after that.
And right down the middle there, 3-1. And the reason this is such a big game is New Bedford right now is down, trailing Mystic 10-0, or they lost. It's over. They lost 10-0. So Plymouth could gain a full game on New Bedford with a win here tonight. The pitch, swing and a foul back, 3-2 the count. The Gulls down to their final strike here in this game.
Not only that, but New Bedford, you pick up a game here. We've got New Bedford tomorrow, chance to overtake them. Danbury does have the lead. It looks like they're polishing one off, up 4-3 on Ocean State.
Out of the windup, the 3-2 pitch. Just missing outside, ball 4. Clutch at bat there by Young. He needed to get on base, and he did. The Gulls have a little bit of life. Cole Fabio coming to the plate.
Number 1, Cole Fabio.
Well, that's what you didn't want to happen if you're Wyrick. He's been so good through the start of his outing, but that's a big walk to give up. Now, you know, the winning run, or the game-tying run is on first. The winning run is in the box, and it's a dangerous hitter in Fabio.
Dangerous hitter, and Troy Dixon, even more dangerous, is on deck. So if Fabio can find a way to get on as he takes the first pitch in there for a called strike, it'd be huge. And I was about to say, Wyrick just needs to go right at Cole Fabio here. You don't want to walk him and get Troy Dixon up there at the plate. The 0-1 pitch on the outside corner, 0-2. Fabio doesn't like it. Looked a bit outside, maybe. But as we've mentioned a lot, the strike zone's been a little bit all over the place.
It really has. I mean, can't say that. I guess not all over the place, but more that that right side of the plate has really fluctuated in width. I mean, we've seen some that have looked practically in the lefty's batter's box to a right-handed hitter that have been a strike. That wasn't the most egregious. Certainly wasn't the closest, though, there.
So 0-2 the count on Fabio. The pitch, fastball left up. So if Fabio can split the gap here, Travis Young with a lot of speed, 2 outs, he's going to have a good jump. Could potentially tie the game, especially the right center field gap. And Wyrick's been staying away to him, so he's got to shorten up here, try to take it opposite field. The 1-2 pitch, swinging a drive towards right. That's going to find the top of the warehouse out there. Good cut by Fabio. It's the Pilgrims 6, the Gulls 5. We're in the bottom of the 9th inning, 2 outs, a runner on first. This game means a lot for both teams. More so for the Pilgrims, though. The Gulls looking to keep pace with the Schooners. Wyrick comes set again, the 1-2 pitch. Swinging a dribbler down the first base line, foul. Fabio fouls off another one. He's been late on the fastball.
Yeah, that one very close and fielded cleanly there at first by Gordon. Thomas going to go out to Wyrick, and this is the thing. You get yourself in a situation where a guy starts fouling off pitches, and you think, you know, I got to just, you know, where can I locate a pitch in the strike zone but that he can hit? And that's a lot of the times the situation where you give up a really good pitch to hit, and Wyrick needs to just keep doing what he's doing. I mean, Fabio hasn't been able to do enough with the last 2 pitches. He needs to find a similar spot here and just give one in a tough spot.
And Fabio up there, not a guy that strikes out a lot. In 137 at-bats this summer, just 13 strikeouts.
Wow. Very
so
impressive.
he's disciplined up there. He at least puts the ball in play. Wyrick would love that 14th K. The pitch, left up. Good take there by Cole Fabio, showing that good eye. It's a 2-2 count. We're even here. Dixon again would love a chance as he waits on deck. Wyrick comes set, the 2-2 pitch. Swinging a slow dribbler towards Pena at short. Has it on the backhand. The throw over to first in time, and that's the ball game. Here at Cardines Field, the Pilgrims hang on to win by a score to 6-5 over the Gulls, and a big win for you, Quinn.
Yeah, that's a huge one. The heart rate just now going to come down. The Pilgrims now within a half game of New Bedford. It looks like Danbury's going to win it, so they'll jump over New Bedford, but the Pilgrims stick it within a game of them. So a huge chance for them tomorrow night. They absolutely had to have this game, and they got it done. Now they got 4 left to try to work themselves into that 4th position.
Well, we'll take a quick break here. When we come back, we'll have the full post-game show for you, including player of the game interview live down on the field. We'll take a break here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Well, welcome back, folks. It's the Gulls who take the loss tonight to Plymouth by a score of 6-5. It was a back-and-forth affair. The Gulls now 23-18 on the year, got 5 runs on 9 hits, 3 errors, left 5 on base. The Pilgrims 18-22, now 6 runs on 8 hits, left 8 on. And for Jake Cousins, he was the starter for the Gulls. He went 4 innings, allowing 3 runs, 2 earned, struck out 4. Andrew Mitchell was terrific, 6.2 innings pitched, 4 runs, 6 hits, 5 strikeouts. Winning pitcher on the day, Jake Wyrick. Losing pitcher goes to Blake Cairns. Home runs hit by Stephen Scott and Cole Gordon. Official time of the game, a quick one, 2 hours and 45 minutes, at least for the NECBL. And the official attendance tonight, 2,775. As for the Gulls, they'll be back at it again on Friday as they'll face off against Mystic. That's going to be a big game for them. And what's next for you guys, Quinn?
Well, tomorrow we'll have a trip down to New Bedford to try to get that playoff spot back in our favor, and then they'll have Danbury at home the day after that. So this is it, these next 2 games right there for you.
So a big win for you guys after losing 12-4 last night, surrendering 6 home runs at your home field. Could be easy to get discouraged. You lost the game, but then, or actually you stayed pretty much even in the division, but
right,
they come back here. You got to love the fight.
Absolutely. I mean, we've had a lot of good ball games, a lot of ball games where the Pilgrims have won big, a lot of ball games where they fought to the end, but this one was the most back-and-forth ball game we've had all season, and it was just punch for counter punch, and at the end of the day, Cole Gordon coming up huge for you. And we talked about it, and you mentioned that's the 2nd run given up all season by Cairns, who's been stellar for you guys. Statistically, you look at Gordon 0 for 4 going into that at-bat. The last guy you'd think is going to be able to come up, but it just shows you when you've got a player that just has that kind of ability, the magic that can happen with one at-bat. He's never out of a game, and that huge home run gets it done, and the Pilgrims as a whole unit really fought hard to get this one.
Well, Quinn, it's been a pleasure broadcasting alongside you this year. I mean, you gained a game on New Bedford. Potentially, if they keep winning, we could maybe see you in the playoffs. But if not, it's been a pleasure. And
absolutely,
it's nice working up here in the booth with you. So we'll throw it over to Megan Windle and Jarek Krajewski as they'll take it over up here in the booth. I'll head down to the field.
Thanks, Tolan. Taking one last look around the league. Final score over at Fitch High School. Mystic Schooners win 10-0 against the New Bedford Bay Sox. At Rogers Park right now, they're in the top of the 9th. It's Ocean State Waves 3, Danbury Westerners 4. At Goodall Park, again, Sanford Mainers are winning 4 against the Upper Valley Nighthawks 3 in the top of the 9th. At Alumni Field, in the top of the 9th, Keene Swamp Bats are leading 14-4 against the Valley Blue Sox. So, Jarek, what do you think about the game tonight?
Good game. Both teams battled. Blake just left one pitch over his own to probably the best hitter on their team, and Cole Gordon hit an absolute rocket out of the park for the win. And then the Gulls did have their opportunity to take the lead in the 8th, and the 6-4-3 double play really killed the rally.
Definitely. I mean, I feel like there's a lot to say and there's not much to say, because every time that Plymouth got ahead, we came back, and every time we got ahead, Plymouth came back. So I mean, a lot of good ball playing, but unfortunately just not enough for the Gulls to win tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Some timely hits. Trey Harris with a huge hit to tie the game. Timely hits. Cole Gordon with the home run. The one big thing is just the bunt. Charlie Carpenter couldn't get the bunt down and then struck out looking. I just feel like we see that every single game where either both teams can't get the bunt down and then someone has to come up with a clutch hit where if it was second and third and Trey Harris hits that shot, then it's a 2-run lead, and then that home run just ties the game. So just little things that affect the game in the long run.
Yeah, absolutely, and we've talked about it a few times, but I definitely think that sacrifice bunt is something that they're going to want to get down before the playoffs, because it does happen a lot where it just goes foul every time, and then you end up with 2 strikes on you, and at that point when you have a big hitter, I mean, you don't want them to bunt anymore. So, I mean, hopefully they'll get it down. I think we're still in a good place for the playoffs, though, which is great. It'll be exciting heading into that next week for sure.
Yeah, definitely. You got to be excited about the Gulls bullpen. Even though Murphy and Blake got hit around a little bit. Murphy came in 3 strikes. He just gave up that 1 hit. Blake with the home run, and then the newcomer Paul Campbell really came in and 3 strikes for Jake Cousins, who only lasted 4 innings, but he still kept everyone in the ball games. So it just shows you the Gulls have a good, solid bullpen that when they're on, they can be dominant and getting ready for the playoffs.
For sure. I think the good thing about the bullpen is that as everybody else is winding down, the Gulls sort of keep on getting better, which is great. So we'll take it down to Tolan for the player of the game interview.
Thanks, guys. Tolan Vaquero here alongside Gulls player of the game, Steven Scott. Steven, another single tonight, another home run. You've absolutely been raking of late. Does the ball just look like a big beach ball up there for you?
I'm just trying to go up there, give productive at-bats for my team, move a runner over when I have to, and just help the team in any way that I can.
2-run home run tonight. When it was hit, I thought it just looked like a routine pop-up. Did you think it was going to go out, or?
I knew that I got quite a bit of it. It went a little bit high up in the air, so I wasn't quite sure, just legging it out just to make sure.
Well, obviously pure power. 10th home run of the year for Steven Scott. You're now second in the NECBL. 4 home runs, also second for RBI, so having a tremendous season. Obviously a tough loss. What was said in the team huddle after the game?
Just keep fighting, keep our energy up. Overall, we thought that we played pretty well. We obviously didn't get the win, but we liked our competitiveness and how we fought throughout the entire game. We never gave up, and we hope that can go a long way.
Well, still playing great baseball heading into the final 3 games of the season. Off day tomorrow. What do you have planned?
Not much. Maybe heading out to the beach. Put some sunscreen on this time, though.
Nice. Well, the beach is always a good place in Newport. That'll do it for the player of the game here. We'll send it up to the booth one more time. Megan?
Thanks, Tolan. So, Jarek, what are some of the things that you want to see with the Gulls in the last few games of the regular season?
Just to have good at-bats. Pitchers come in, throw strikes. That's really all you need for the playoffs coming forward.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. We'll send it back down to Tolan for closing remarks.
Thanks, guys. That'll do it here at Cardines Field. It was a back-and-forth ball game all game and really got your heart rate going. If you were here in the stands, 2,775 in attendance here tonight for Military Appreciation Night. And it was a great game, a much-needed win for the Pilgrims. And for the Gulls, their 18th loss of the season. They lost by a score of 6-5, but some good did come from it. Steven Scott with the home run, Trey Harris with the double, Jake Brote as well. So before we conclude, let's take a moment to thank everyone that made tonight's production possible. Executive producer, Baseball Operations, Tom Lima, producer Shannon Carlson, the associate producer, Blair Schneider, audio tech, Robbie Rhodes, on-site engineer, Rob Sanchez, director of media relations, Nick Lima, field reporter, Shannon O'Connell, and our statistician, Jared Krajewski, the best in the business. Along up there in the booth with me, Megan Wendell and Quinn Kelly from Plymouth. I'm Tolan Vaquero, and as always, be safe, and we'll see you here next time at Cardines Field.